disconnection there. Had some internet connectivity issues due to storm clouds moving over my location. I have Starlink internet, which works great until you have a thunderstorm move over. So I apologize about that. Catch you up to speed here. We have a new tornado warning now just south of the Terre Haute area. Go ahead and switch radars here back to the Evansville radar here. Tornado warning radar indicated here, but we have a donut hole signature on radar. This is not a good situation here. Very tight rotation here associated with this. On CC, I don't see a tornado on the ground, but one could drop at any moment here. That's for northern Sullivan County for that tornado warning here. Switch back to Indianapolis's radar here. We have a possible still tornado in progress. Kind of hard to tell. You can see your hook there on CC, but again, updated tornado is radar indicated here. But we have two tornado warnings here. Both of them are radar indicated. So that tornado has lifted, but it could reproduce at any moment here. Back down to North Vernon, Indiana. We have a radar indicated tornado here. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located near Vernon or 10 miles east of Seymour, moving east at 50. Hazard tornado, radar indicated rotation. Maybe a little bit broad, just a little bit. They're near the Lovett area, perhaps maybe a couple areas there to look for as well. Another area near Batesville, near the Napoleon area. Going to have to keep an eye on you as well. We have a tornado possible tag on this severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado warning just to the north, radar indicated rotation here. So active severe thunderstorm warnings for the north here. We have all the way up to North Webster to the National Weather Service's office here. This is for Whitley County, Huntington County, Kosciuszko County, Marshall County until 8:15 p.m., 60 mile per hour winds. Radar indicated here. And we also have that now for Wells, Adams, Grant, Jay, and Blackford. And until 8:45, 60 mile per hour winds, radar indicated with there as well. It goes south to Muncie, Indiana, Newcastle, Richmond, Indiana, 60 mile per hour winds, penny-sized hail as well. It's for Madison County, Hancock, Shelby, Rush, Randolph County, and Henry County until 8:30, 60 mile per hour winds. Moving east of 30 miles an hour, so a little bit slower there. Go ahead and switch back radars here. You can see your gust front there. They're on the left side of your screen, those brighter purples there. Go ahead and draw it out here. Big gust front here, right in here on this Boeing segment here. Active tornado warnings now across the state of Indiana. We're going to have to watch this supercell here moving into Perry County, Indiana here, maybe Vanderburgh County eventually for Evansville. This is a hail maker right now. It did have a tornado emergency on it earlier. That has yet expired in southern Illinois. That is a good sign as it's moving towards Indiana, but still has a really nice hook on it here. We're going to have to watch this supercell, not really as a tornado threat for Perry County. Could be for Vanderburgh and Boone County.
New information. This tornado warning has been updated.
But we also have a large hail threat with this storm here for southern Posey County and Vanderburgh County. Mount Vernon, Evansville, the storm is producing 2-inch size hail. You're going to have to keep an eye on this as it moves in your direction as well. Back up to the north here, Terre Haute, Indiana. We have tornado warnings to the left of you and to the south of you, but not on you at this point in time. Just up to the north here, we have very, very tight rotation moving in the northern Sullivan County. We have a donut hole signature on radar, meaning an occluded area of rotation and also a broad area of rotation just south of Terre Haute, Indiana. Severe thunderstorm warning for Terre Haute. However, for northern areas of Vigo County, southern Clay County, and northern Sullivan County, we have a tornado warning in effect. Radar indicated rotation here, very strong rotation here. Possible tornado could form at any time near Fairbanks and York. That's for northern Sullivan County yet again, getting under the gun here. As we go back to the west here, or to the east here rather, starting here near Bloomington, we did have a confirmed tornado. It is cycling yet again, so it could easily produce another tornado here. This storm has a history of producing large tornadoes. This will be coming near Pikes Peak, the Ogleville area. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that wrong, but very tight rotation now showing up on radar here once again, just north of Elkinsville, coming south of Camps Roberts near Gnawbone, Clarksdale, Pikes Peak, and Christiansburg there, coming very close to you. Moving east at this also baseball size hail is also occurring here within the core. This storm is moving off to the east at 50 miles per hour here. So this storm could reproduce here. It is cycling right now. This tornado warning out ahead of it. This kind of merged into a storm complex here. Maybe some weak embedded areas of rotation on the north side of Columbus right now. But again, that is kind of broadened out just a little bit. That's kind of good. But we do have that supercell just south of Nashville, Indiana, which could put down a tornado at any moment and has a history of doing so. Radar indicated rotation here. This is for areas 9 miles northwest of Osgood, 13 miles southwest of Batesville, moving east at 50 miles per hour here. Basement interior room, radar indicated rotation there. You kind of see that right in here, just north of Mills House in there, just northwest of Napoleon there, have an area of rotation there. Our tornado warning here for North Vernon here, including Vernon, showing signs of weakening, perhaps maybe a little bit, but we're also a little bit further away from the radar. But again, interior room away from windows here for that cell. Just south of the Indiana border here. Have a nice supercell here near the Louisville area as well. Areas just to the north here, near the Newcastle area. Damaging winds here. Primary hazard here, 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-sized hail associated with this storm as well. Areas to the north here, including the Huntington County areas as well. Have a couple areas of strong gusty winds here, 60-mile-per-hour winds. Does include the Fort Wayne area and Auburn area, 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-sized hail. Go ahead and turn on our hail tracker here. A couple different hail cores here. One in the Grant Blackford County area over by Hartford, and Lancaster, Indiana, and Huntington County, moving into the Wells County area and Blackford County area. Maybe some penny-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds here. Going back to velocity, there you can see it updated there a little bit. Back down to the Indianapolis radar here. Pockets of embedded 60-mile-per-hour winds up here with the greatest threat of severe weather across southern Indiana. Again, tight rotation showing up here. Again, possible tornado on the ground, Ryan. It may have just produced another tornado here. Possible debris ball on radar here just north of Elkinsville, south of Nashville. It may have just produced another tornado on the ground here. Likely tornado on the ground here just south of North Lookout there in southern Indiana. Turn back to reflectivity here. There's your debris ball there just north of Elkinsville. Still radar indicated, but we may see that change here in the next few minutes. Possible debris ball just north of Elkinsville, moving towards Pike Peak, Indiana. This is for East Central Monroe County and South Central Indiana, Brown County, Indiana, and Bartholomew County, Indiana. Again, interior room. If you're in Brown County, Indiana, south of Nashville, tornado is likely on the ground here. Once again, moving towards the Pike Peak area. This supercell has a history. It's already had a family of tornadoes, which is a very cyclonic supercell here. But again, radar indicated here, but likely going to get changed to a tornado observed at minimum here, as we do have what appears to be another debris ball on radar. Getting ready to cross Horseman Camp Road here and State Road 135 near Pikes Peak. Likely tornado on the ground south of Nashville, Indiana. Very textbook, almost a plains-like supercell that we have here, and it's been very long-lived, producing tornadoes from Linton all the way to Bloomington, Indiana. But again, likely tornado on the ground here now for Brown County, Indiana, south of Nashville.
Working on a video to the page. There was a tornado that was confirmed in Clear Creek. I got a video of it about to go up on the pages.
Yeah, so the tornado that's going to go up was from earlier today of a confirmed tornado. Very tight rotation here. In fact, we're going to turn on CC here. I need to get another look at this tornado or possible tornado. I don't see it yet. This is probably a hail spatter just on the north. It doesn't quite match up. We need something right in here or right in here. But again, just rain right now, but this is extremely tight rotation moving into northern Sullivan County. So areas that got baseball and softball size hail earlier, be on the lookout for a possible tornado heading in your direction right now. Not on the ground yet, but it is very tight rotation. Just got the latest scan here. Still nothing yet, but that is extremely tight rotation. Possible tornado there could form at any moment here. Likely tornado on the ground here in progress near Pikes Peak. Move back here, debris ball. This is a debris ball. This is a tornado on the ground here. It does continue here. This is a very strong tornado on the ground once again here. Right in there, right where I just circled south of Camp Roberts. That is your debris ball on radar coming near Pikes Peak. We're likely going to see this warning updated here by the National Weather Service to an observed or PDS warning here. Tornado is on the ground, moving east near Pikes Peak, just north of State Road 135, near Story here. Just north of State Road 135, we have an active tornado on the ground here, just north of Elkinsville. Once again, touchdown, moving near Pikes Peak. Orgleville, and Columbus, Indiana. This is going to head close to downtown Columbus, Indiana. We have an active tornado on the ground here. So again, if you're in Columbus, Indiana, into your room, away from windows, just a few miles to your west, we have an active tornado on the ground. Hopefully it lifts before reaching downtown in a more of a rural area right now, but it is just north of some populated centers here, but it is obviously hitting stuff, whether it's trees or houses or structures. We do have an active debris ball on the ground here. Again, a very dangerous situation here in Brown County, Indiana. I'm going to look something up here real quick, so hang tight, but we do have an active tornado on the ground with possible large hailstones as well on the north side. I'm just going to check something real quick here. Again, if you're in Brown County State Park, this tornado is heading right towards you. That was my fear, because it was really close to Brown County State Park, and it appears to have gone very, very close, if not right over Brown County State Park, Ryan, is where this tornado debris ball is. It's right over a state park, or very, very close to the state park.
Hopefully no one's camping there.
South. I am sure it's a weekend. It's a Friday. There's campers there. That was my fear. That's what I was looking up here behind the scenes. I knew it was south of Nashville. Gosh, your heart just sinks when you see that. Gosh, dang it. Tornado on the ground, passing near Brown County State Park, if not over the park, heading near the Pikes Peak, New Bellsville, Indiana area, coming near Grandview Lake here. Very strong tornado on the ground here in progress. This tornado warning is not updated yet, but we do have a tornado in progress here in Brown County, Indiana, likely just going over a very large debris ball now near Pikes Peak. This is an active tornado on the ground, very dangerous tornado on the ground, and has been on the ground for a few minutes. This tornado warning does need upgraded to a PDS tornado warning. Radar indicated debris ball here that I am seeing just passed over or near Brown County State Park. Gosh, that sucks. Coming near Clarksdale and Columbus, Indiana. Columbus, Indiana, interior room away from windows as this tornado in progress is heading in your direction here. Again, a large tornado appears to be on the ground here. Take shelter immediately in Columbus, Indiana. Going to switch radars here as we are starting to get into a radar gap a little bit. But again, that's a large tornado on the ground here, Ryan.
Yeah, I just pulled up GR2. That is insane. Your gate to gate on this, just FYI, is over 120 miles per hour. So that's potentially a strong tornado ongoing there in this situation. It's a very distinct debris ball.
What height is that, Ryan? Just for reference, if I
can't tell you that until probably 20 minutes after.
Okay.
There it is.
New information. This PDS tornado warning has been updated.
Observe considerable ping pong ball size hail. You're in a life-threatening situation. Columbus, Nashville, Edinburgh, Elizabethtown, Clifford, Spurgeons, Corner, Stonehead, Gnawbone, Story, and Taylorsville. A very large and extremely dangerous tornado is on the ground. Has been confirmed by radar. Radar indicated here. But again, very, very dangerous tornado here, and it has been observed. Radar confirmed tornado here. Moving east at 50 miles per hour. Likely went over very close to Brown County State Park. So again, a very dangerous situation. This is a very wooded area as well. A lot of roads may be impassable here from the storm and from tree debris. So again, if you are out on the roads, do not stay home until given the all clear. Heed local warnings from your local EMAs. Let your local emergency management.
A new considerable severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
That is for southern Indiana here, extreme southern Indiana here for this hail core here. For Posey and Vanderbilt County, kind of the boot way down in here, Oak Grove area and Henderson, Kentucky there for this guy here. But we're going to stay on our tornado on progress here. Yeah, look at that hail spike there. We call that a TBSS. I do want to look at this storm here, though, Ryan, in northern Sullivan County, just because of the rotation that it has had.
For the most part, looks like it's going to the south. Looks like Caleb may have froze there, so I'll take my screen back here. We switched hosting, so Caleb is going through some thunderstorms currently.
For my house, Ryan. I'm going to take your screen back.
Nope, I got it.
Ryan,
I already got it.
Perfect.
I already got it. So Caleb's going through connection issues at the current moment. I'm going to switch over to a few things here. Perfect. All right, so this is a storm down south of Evansville. For the most part, for right now at least, it's staying to the south of the state line. We're going to worry about that here in a few minutes. It's not an immediate concern. We do have a concern, though, up here. We're going to switch radars here. We have a confirmed tornado on the ground here, and this is a 4-panel look at it. You can see that little hook, the debris ball there, and then also on the right side of your screen, this is very intense rotation here. The reds are indicating 68 miles per hour and the greens are indicating right around 66. Put that together is about 130 miles per hour, and if that was on the ground, that equates to roughly an EF2 strength tornado. So this is likely a very strong tornado that's on the ground here. This is going to be in Brown County, about to cross over into Bartholomew County, heading toward the Columbus area. It's a very, very classic supercell look. Would not be shocked to see this continue to grow in intensity. If we zoom out here, there's nothing below it here that is impeding inflow to this. It is completely
a new tornado warning has been issued.
Completely unimpeded inflow into this. So you have wind screaming into this little hook here and the air wrapping around it like this. This is a very classic supercell. This is probably gonna be long tracked if I have to guess. So Columbus, Elizabethtown, Bartholomew County, you guys need to be inside, basement, cover your head, protect yourself from flying debris. This is a serious situation, as real as it gets here. This is a very, very serious situation for this storm. We have a new warning coming in here. I'm going to flip back over here to my other radar. Over here by Batesville, we have a $half size hail and radar indicated rotation. We're going to switch over here to the ILN radar. It's a little bit of a messy area here, but you can definitely see rotation up there north of I-74. Not too incredibly tight, but again, we are still thousands of feet up in the atmosphere here. So we'll have to keep an eye on that closely as that pushes to the east-northeast. I want to keep focus here. We have numerous warnings in effect, but we have one on the ground I want to focus in on heading toward the Columbus area. That's going to be the most concerning risk out of anything currently. This is just not a good situation at all. It continues to grow in intensity here in the, basically it's going to be on Bartholomew and Brown County line as we speak. It's just not a good situation at all. Further north, I can't forget you guys up here further north, we do have numerous severe warnings. The good news, though, is this is for wind. There's no tornado or hail threat up here. It's just 60-mile-per-hour winds, probably a lot of blowing dust as well. So from Kendallville, Angola, down to Fort Wayne, Decatur, Bluffton, Marion, Portland, Winchester, Newcastle, Richmond. This is going to be your only severe threat for the day. Wind is the only hazard with that line. Back here in northwest Indiana, you're all clear there. Further south, though, a severe weather outbreak is ongoing and will continue for several more hours here. Again, this is the most concerning situation here. It's just, you don't get as classic of a hook here very often. Hail core here heading into Columbus, so very large hail likely hitting Columbus right now. And the tornado, if there's going to be one, likely is on the ground here. Again, this is a observed tornado warning, a PDS tornado warning with ping pong ball size hail moving into Columbus area. So if you're in Columbus, please take shelter. Your basement, this is just not good. The good news, I believe, it's going to track, should track just south of downtown here, but these tornadoes can occlude, which if they do means it's going to pull north just a bit. So if you're anywhere in Columbus, I'd be taking shelter right now. This is a very serious situation here as it's moving into the Columbus area. I got to put out a post here. It looks like Caleb's taking shelter, so I am the only person on here currently doing warnings.
A new PDS tornado warning has been issued.
They just went ahead and reissued the PDS tornado warning here. report coming in of a fire department confirmed tornado on the ground just southwest of Columbus. So we have a large and extremely dangerous tornado moving into Columbus as we speak. I'm going to post on the page here. Give me a second, please. A lot going on here, guys. New warning coming in for Franklin and Union County until 9 p.m. A severe warning. Okay, sorry about that, guys. So again, this is a confirmed tornado on the ground over Grandview Lake, about to move into the southern part of Columbus here. So Garden City, Walesboro, North Ogleville, Highway 65 here, North-South Road. This is going to be a confirmed tornado on the ground located directly over Grandview Lake. Zooming out here, we have numerous severe warnings. We're not really focusing in on the ones up here because this is just for wind and blowing dust. So there's not much going on up here besides wind. We have numerous tornado warnings and likely tornadoes on the ground all across southern Indiana here. The main concern right now, is that Columbus cell as we speak. So we're going to keep focused on that. I do have other radars pulled up here, so I have a lot of data going on around me. So I'm looking at a lot of angles here. New warning is being updated for Jennings.
This tornado
County,
warning
Indiana.
has been updated.
They just trimmed that back. Looks like Indianapolis once again getting into another severe thunderstorm warning here for downtown Indianapolis. As Caleb mentioned earlier, you guys in Indianapolis have been getting slammed this year with severe, but luckily this one is a baseline warning, 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail for you guys. Multiple reports of a tornado on the ground heading into Columbus. Cone-shaped tornado visible from the south side of Columbus. And that is as of 1 minute ago. So it is on the ground here moving into Columbus right now. Confirmed tornado, PDS warning moving into Columbus as we speak. It looks like it's going to graze the south side of Columbus here. Garden City, State Route 46. Caleb, you back here?
I am back now if you can hear me. Sorry about that.
Oh, all good.
I had winds of 55 and a dust storm. I had visibility less than a quarter of a mile.
Nice. But yeah, that's why we had to disconnect earlier as well, because Caleb's connection with Starlink, with the storms going overhead, it kind of disconnects. I'm hosting now. We should be connected here. Caleb, get you up to speed here. Confirmed tornado moving into Columbus right now. Spotter confirmed as of 2 minutes ago. The rotation on that appears to be weakening just a bit, which is good news. If I flip it over here to that other radar here.
With that being said, though, it could re-intensify. This
and it's still...
There's a history of cycling and reproducing, so...
And this does still have a nice debris ball on it, too. So if you're in Columbus here, anywhere south of Columbus, downtown, be in your safe place. Treat it as a tornado on the ground. It likely is still on the ground here. Do we have any highway cameras there near Columbus, Caleb?
Let me take a look here. We may.
Yeah, see if we can get that. So far tonight, we've had at least...
downtown Columbus, I do.
Okay, I'm going to take your screen then.
Let me go... Hang on, I'm still trying to find one.
Okay, go ahead. Let me know when you got it ready. Again, we have numerous warnings. We apologize. We got plenty of people underneath the threat tonight. But again, we're focusing in on the highest concern here. Nothing as of our knowledge is on the ground. Looking across velocity here, the main concern, I believe, looking at the velocities, is really centered here around Columbus. But there are rotational instances, in certain areas. But there's just not much higher priority than when tornado on the ground moving into a populated area here in Columbus. So That is where the focus is.
Nothing with a view, Ryan. These cameras
Okay.
are aiming the wrong way and wrong direction.
Okay. Looks like a new warning coming in here for Wayne County. This is quite the intense severe weather outbreak.
And we also have a tornado, Ryan, just south of the Indiana border in Uniontown. We have a tornado observed just south of the Indiana border there. We have a huge debris ball, Ryan, near Old Shawneetown and Morganfield, Kentucky, south of the Mount Vernon area. Really big debris signature there.
Okay. I'll take your screen back if you're ready for it.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's all you. I'm going to do some page ops real quick.
Yep.
I'm also going to pop out and use the bathroom. I'll be right back in like 2 minutes.
Sounds good. We do still have a little bit of a debris signature showing up near the Columbus area in Indiana here. But also something to keep in mind, a little bit of a unique situation. We have dust advisories, blowing dust advisories for Northeast Indiana here. They don't show up on the screen here. But the National Weather Service has issued that. We have blowing dust advisories in effect here for visibility, less than a quarter of a mile of blowing dust, thanks to that line of storms. And some of that dust didn't even originate in Indiana. Some of that came from Illinois, too, which is crazy.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
And we have an updated tornado warning now that has been issued here. That includes the Bloomington, or not the Bloomington area, over the same areas once again. Clay City, Packardburg, New Hope. This is a radar indicated tornado and golf ball size hail. So no tornado on the ground, but this is an extension of the tornado warning here. This does include Vigo County, Northern Sullivan County, Clay County,
New
and
information.
County.
This tornado warning has been updated.
And that was over here. Just trimmed back a little bit for this one. Still radar indicated. $half size hail, $1.25 there for that. Go ahead and turn our velocities back on here to look at reflectivity here. This supercell here likely going through what's called a cycling phase, where the tornado has briefly lifted, but then also could cycle back and produce a tornado again. So this is a very dangerous storm and something we're going to have to keep an eye on here as well as the storm moves off to the east and northeast here. Still a very a dangerous situation here near the Columbus, Indiana area. And actually, I have a view of the wall cloud. The tornado is not on the ground, Ryan, but I have a wall cloud camera up. If you can take my screen. Maybe I just did share. Okay, it's moving out of screen now. But there is a wall cloud. There is no active tornado on the ground at this point in time. I can confirm via INDOT cameras. The tornado has lifted, but we do have a pretty healthy looking wall cloud there, just across the highway there. But again, no tornado on the ground at this point in time. So that is good news. The tornado has lifted here in Columbus. Just a really healthy wall cloud at this point in time, according to INDOT cameras here in Columbus. But very low wall cloud, could cycle through at any point in time. Let me go to video here. I don't have time to do that here before it moves out of screen. But anyway, wall cloud, the tornado has lifted here in Columbus. That is good news here. Just the wall cloud confirmed with INDOT cameras there, but no tornado on it. So that is really good news here. Back to our storm here near Lewis and Clay City here. Really nice couplet on it here. Strong rotation here near Lewis as well. In fact, let's go ahead and turn on correlation coefficients here just to take a look at that. Switch radars here as well. I want to get another look at it from a couple different angles here. Indianapolis may actually show that the best. Can't confirm if there's a tornado on the ground, but there is definitely some pretty strong rotation.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
And we have a new tornado warning now. Trying to figure out where that's at. Oh, right up here. For Connorsville, Indiana. Some rotation there, radar indicated there. Hail 0 inches, so no hail with this, but we do have some radar indicated rotation here by the National Weather Service in Wilmington, Ohio. This is their CWA, or counties of interest here. This is what they control. Flying debris will be dangerous to those caught outside. Radar indicated rotation, and this is going to be moving towards was near Glenwood, moving northeast or north at 40 miles per hour. Radar indicated rotation. Mount Auburn, Dublin, Cambridge City, Bunker Hill, Waterloo, Germantown, Centerville, Connorsville, exit 70, Interstate 70 and exit 145, Columbia, Milton, and Richmond.
New information, this tornado warning has been updated.
And they trimmed this tornado warning back for the Columbus, Indiana, but also radar indicated here. So that is indicative of the tornado lifting here. Hopefully this supercell is on the way out. I really hope we're done with this thing. This tornado warning here continues with golf ball size hail over the same areas I saw baseballs and softballs earlier this afternoon. Southeastern Vigo County, northeastern Sullivan County, Clay County, and Owen County in west central Indiana. Some decent rotation here associated with this as well. So again, a very dangerous storm here. And also showing some rotation here near Center Point, Bowling Green, Indiana. Showing some rotation right along I-70 there. In west central Indiana. So again, tight rotation showing up there near Center Point. May get a tornado warning on that. We'll just see what the National Weather Service's discretion is on
New
that.
information, this tornado warning has been updated.
Trying to see which one that was. Yeah, baseball size hail now indicated on this, Ryan. They upped the hail size on this as well. So baseball size hail just north of areas that were getting softball size hail earlier. So again, a very dangerous storm. Lots of hail today across Indiana, which is not what you want to see. Also watching this area just to the north here along I-70 near Center Point. Could have a little bit of rotation there showing up on radar as well. So a couple areas of interest here. The Columbus, Indiana supercell is cycling right now once again. But it has shrunk in size, so that is good news. Hopefully it's getting ready to be on its way out. But again, still a dangerous supercell, still showing signs of rotation on it as well. Go ahead and turn CC back on. I don't see... Kind of messy there. But I don't see anything that would say a tornado is on the ground at this point in time. That is some good news there.
New information, this tornado warning has been updated.
And there they trim that back a little bit further here as well. But again, radar indicated tornado and baseball size hail for Clay City, Indiana, coming into the Denmark area, Coal City, Patricksburg, Vandalia, and Freedom, all on deck for baseball size hail with this supercell as well. Let me turn velocity back on here so we don't have too reflectivity. And you can see a couple areas of rotation here, the strongest being near
New
Clay
information,
City.
This tornado warning has been updated.
And they may have trimmed another one back here. I'll have to take a look at that. Back down south here for southern Indiana. Back down to this tornado warning here. The area of rotation is near Morganfield, Kentucky, just south of the Indiana border here. Go ahead and turn correlation coefficiency on to show you it did have a tornado in progress. Still likely does. Just south of the Ohio River. I'm going to have to keep an eye on this for extreme southern Boone County, perhaps. But again, Vanderburgh and Posey County are in a severe thunderstorm warning, considerable for golf ball size hail. So extreme portions of the county maybe getting in on some hail with a tornado in progress near Morganfield, Kentucky, moving towards the Owensboro area as well. Tornado in progress there just south of the Indiana border. This tornado warning here, baseball size hail, radar indicated rotation here. Again, very, very strong storm here with this supercell here. As we move back to the west here a little bit, severe thunderstorm warning still in effect for Wells, Adams, DeKalb, Whitley County, in Adams County, Randolph County, and Jay County here as this gust front moves into Ohio. 60-mile-per-hour winds there. And we do have a tornado warning to include the Connorsville area as well. Some broad rotation there, radar indicated rotation there near Connorsburg moving north. Columbus, Indiana, that tornado has lifted at this point in time. Hopefully it stays lifted here. But again, we're going to have to watch this here very closely.
Caleb, draw attention back toward Clay City on the border near the Jasonville area. Rotation picking up there on that cell that's currently warned with baseball-sized hail heading towards Spencer. That's a interesting.
Pretty strong rotation there, just south of Middlebury there, coming near Burke Corner and Coal City. Pretty strong rotation there, indicated on radar. So tornado really could touch down at any time here associated with that supercell. Something we're going to have to keep a very close eye on. This would be moving near the Dunkirk area as well. But again, very tight rotation here. Interior room away from windows until this storm has passed. This is a very dangerous situation here across southern Indiana. We have still 3 active tornado warnings here in effect across Indiana here, and 1 tornado in progress just south of the Indiana border here as well. So again, very strong, very dire situation, and a couple areas of strong rotation still showing up here. Ryan, look at Evansville radar with CC on that cell.
Okay. Whatever it is going to be probably south of the state line, which is good, but
that's what I'm looking at here. Indianapolis doesn't show it, but Vincent.
Yeah, that's on the ground south of the state line.
Possible. Yeah, south of state line. I'm talking about Clay City though.
Oh. Let's see, gotcha.
Ryan's looking at that here. This supercell here appears to be weakening at this point in time.
Clear.
We may be finally seeing. That's what I thought. I wanted a second opinion on it.
All good.
This supercell here, Ryan, though, in Columbus, may be finally on its way out. We're seeing some signs of maybe an outflow dominant storm here, which is wonderful. I'm really hoping that's the case here, and I'm hoping that continues here. But again, Indianapolis and a severe thunderstorm warning once again. 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail at this point in time. Hopefully that does not intensify. We don't need any more of that going through the Circle City. Noblesville, Indiana.
New information. This tornado warning has been updated.
Which one was that? I don't see it really. Oh, I see that. Okay. Again, right now the strongest area of rotation is near Coal City, near Bart Corner. Look at that. Very, very tight rotation there. Just on the east side of town of Clay City, moving into the Denmark area and Coal City area. Very nice.
New information. This tornado warning has been updated.
Very, 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 very tight rotation here, guys. I'm going to turn on correlation here to take a look at this once again. I believe this is clear air, but again, possible tornado. Treat it as if it's on the ground if you're in any of these tornado warnings. These supercells, Evansville's showing it too now, Ryan. Yes. I think it's still clear air. But again, tight rotation here. Possible tornado. Again, treat it as if there is a tornado on the ground. I can't confirm it at this point in time. But again, baseball-sized hail, possible tornado here. Very, very strong storm nonetheless here near Coal City, moving east towards the Freedom area and US 231 towards Spencer, Indiana. You are in a tornado warning for 17 more minutes here. A very dangerous situation here. Back down south to our Columbus, Indiana storm. Turn on our rotation here, velocity. A little bit of rotation, still trying to hang on here. South of the Hope area, just southeast of Greensburg here. But again, it has broadened out a little bit, which is good news. Hopefully it doesn't try to put a rope out tornado or anything like that down on its way out. The Connersville tornado warning has been canceled. That rotation has weakened below severe criteria. Severe thunderstorm warning canceled are allowed to expire for Wells County and Blackford County. Jay and Randolph are still in it a little bit as those winds continue to exit Indiana and into Ohio. Still likely tornado in progress in Morgansville, Kentucky, though. Massive debris ball down there just south of the Indiana, Kentucky line there. Tornado in progress there. Oh, wow. A very large tornado in progress there, Ryan, just south of the Indiana border. But again, back up north here. Oh, no. Still a supercell here. They've canceled the severe thunderstorm warning, but left a tornado warning for baseball size radar indicated here. Doing a lot of revising here on our severe thunderstorm warnings. That's all the dings you can hear there. Go ahead and switch radars here back to the Wilmington radar here as we have some storms that are coming close to the Indiana-Ohio line here near the Hamilton area. Severe thunderstorm warnings in effect here. This one here, quarter-size hail for Ohio, Dearborn, and Ripley counties. This one here, quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. This would be for Union County, Indiana, and Franklin County. 60 and quarter here. Connersville, you're included in that. If you're in Adams County, Jay County, you guys are in the clear at this point in time. Your strongest winds have moved off into Ohio. And then back to the west here, we have a few supercells hanging on here across west central Indiana, with the strongest supercell right now near Coal City, coming into the Denmark area. This would be in Vigo County, Clay County, and Owen counties, as well as northern Sullivan County. However, Sullivan County, you're in the clear now. Primarily Owen County, Indiana here. Getting in on this supercell here. Just north of Coal City.
New information. This tornado warning has been updated.
They updated that because they trimmed it back out of Sullivan County, mainly now for Owen County and Clay County as well. Clay County a little bit, but this is a very mature supercell, Ryan, and it just has that look to it that I really don't like.
Yeah, and
but again,
I wanted to kind of mention and notice this as well. We've had a lot of good supercells so far today that have produced tornadoes, but I don't think we've had any long track tornadoes just yet. They have been pretty short and brief in nature, and I think that's a good sign overall. Obviously, it's never a good sign that we're getting tornadoes, but the environment today would support long track and strong tornadoes. So the fact we haven't had a significant long track tornado yet is actually a really good sign. But we still have numerous warnings here in effect here. And as Caleb said, this has that classic supercell look, and there's also nothing below it. So it's clear inflow into the storm that could produce a tornado, and the environment still may produce a strong or a long track tornado. So,
and we've had some strong tornadoes today too. They just really haven't been long tracked.
Right.
Not saying we didn't have a strong tornado. We have had some strong tornadoes today. They have not been weak by any means of the imagination. But that'll get assessed and rated here. These tornadoes today, they'll get rated by the National Weather Service in the coming days and over the next week or so as data and coordination between the National Weather Service and local emergency management and officials. That communication gets communicated. So it takes time. But again, if you're in any of these impacted communities that have seen tornadoes today, again, heed local warnings by your local officials, emergency management. Heed their warnings, what they're telling you. A lot of times they'll tell you to stay home, do not venture out, do not clog up roadways from emergency vehicles either that need to get in and out. Nothing is more annoying to an emergency worker personnel than people wanting to go sightseeing too early, clogging up roadways. There's a time for that, but immediately after the day of is not the time for that. So again, don't be those people. Don't clog up roadways. Allow those roads to be open for emergency personnel to get out, do their jobs, and make sure it is safe for you to go out, venture out, and start the cleanup process. So I did want to mention that briefly. As we know, everyone gets a little stir-crazy after severe weather, wanting to go see the damage right after. But again, there's a time and place for that. Immediately after is not that time. And also down power lines as well. Never approach down power lines if you come across them. Treat them as if they are live until given the all clear by power or emergency management authority. But still showing signs of some pretty strong rotation here in the Owen County vicinity here. See that couplet there, some upper level rotation in the Greene County cell, but if you look at Indianapolis, getting a look at the surface here, not really a whole lot there. So hopefully that stays up in the cloud and does not come down. Turn back on our velocity here to see you. The storm for the Shelbyville area, you guys are okay for right now. We're going to have to watch these supercells to your west here, specifically this tail end Charlie here that's going to come into the north side of Bloomington here. So far, it's behaving, but it does have that look to it, and it is showing signs of low-level rotation. Hopefully nothing comes of that one. However, we are going to have to keep an eye on that. Up north here, Fishers in Noblesville, Indiana. A little bit of a apex there. Could have some gusty winds coming down here. This is a warning for 60 miles per hour and also some large hail too. That's something we have not done for a little bit. Let's turn on our hail tracker here to look at our updrafts here. This storm here has weakened a little bit. I don't think we're looking at half-dollar size hail. There could be a few hailstones still aloft that are working their way back down to the ground. But according to VIL here, our hail tracker here, looking at a little bit smaller size here. And the same thing for this severe thunderstorm warning too. I no longer see ping pong ball size hail in any of these storms over here. This got trimmed back. Yeah, penny size hail and 60 mile per hour winds. So wind is the primary threat there for the Newcastle area and Rush County area as well.
Caleb, we have some good news.
Warning left in the state.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Ryan. I love good news.
I was about to say the exact same thing. We are down to one warning for a tornado in the state here. Numerous severe, but just one storm that may produce a tornado at the current moment. So these storms do look to be on a little bit of a downtrend, Caleb. Looks like we're kind of on a little bit of a, I'm not going to say a threat's over, but like these storms are kind of dying out, it seems like. There's not much fuel left. I think the first line that came through really kind of sucked the atmosphere dry from perhaps some more storm fuel. So perhaps a lessening threat there. But I do want to highlight that tornado warning. If you zoom in on that, Caleb, that hook is getting a little bit nasty looking. So I have to keep an eye on that very closely. Rotation's a little strong. It's not overly tight just yet, but it very well could be tightening up here very soon. We'll see.
Yeah, nothing that screams on the ground here yet. What we see here, this is your inflow notch. And this pink stuff that you see right in here, this is all rain or objects of a uniform size there. But that's very tight rotation there. So this likely could put down a tornado at any time here. And in fact, if you're in Spencer, Indiana, I would be in your lowest level of your home, basement preferred, bathroom, closet, all great ideas. The storm is doing what I really don't intensify, and it is showing signs of intensifying rotation here. And that is something I don't like to see at all.
Yeah, latest scan really starts to ramp up that rotation here. I'm about to put in the storm vector here to get my SRV to cooperate. So if I can get a better look at this, I will.
Yeah, if you can get that, you can calculate that VROT. That'd be good to know.
Yep, I got it.
But
whoops.
Oh, I thought you were about to say it.
Yeah, hold on. Currently on the VROT, we're looking at, it's hard to tell because it could be contamination there on clear air, but it looks to be roughly around 90 gate to gate, so it'll be about 45.
Yeah, so we're right there. We're close. But again, tornadoes can form very, very quickly. And with these LP storms, Ryan, and when you have a lot of these LP bases, like look right here, we have a donut hole signature on radar, but there's not a lot of rain for the atmosphere and the dual polarity to sample. And when you have that happening, the radar has a hard time interpreting the data there for that core, for that updraft at the surface, because it doesn't have the precipitation to measure with it until that tornado is on the ground. So until that time, maybe kind of getting some mixed signals with it. But again, it does have that LP base, though, a very plain setup here. Here's your inflow, outflow right in here. That's your donut hole signature on radar here. And there's a little something there. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's perhaps a weak tornado on the ground. However, I can't confirm it. It's unconfirmable right now from my point of view, just because of the just the limitations of radar. Just what we have here with dual polarity, dual scan radar here. But it has that look. I would not be surprised if there is something on the ground here. at this point in time, moving towards the US 231 near Spencer. I can't confirm it, but again, that rotation is very, very tight. And it just has that look.
New severe warning coming in for the extreme southwest part of Indiana, down by Evansville. We went live at 4:00 in the morning for our good old friends in Spencer County. Looks like down there, way far south. Actually, not Spencer, but it's going to be Spencer. Am I mistaken here?
Yeah, look at that CC again, Ryan. I want your opinion on it.
Okay. Spencer County and Vanderburgh County in southern Indiana. So those are going to be a severe warning. Hazard with that is going to be ping pong ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds.
And this is your tornado down here that I just circled. That is a large debris ball.
New information. This tornado warning has been updated.
Yeah, it's a large debris ball. The thing you're talking about up by the Spencer area, I'm still getting. I think it's still clear air to me. It looks like there's a little bit of an outflow boundary now on that cell. Look at CC. You can kind of see that kind of.
Yep.
You can see that on reflectivity as well.
That's what I'm gauging it off of. So a little bit of clear air there, which is a good sign. Hopefully that outflow boundary actually interferes with the storm's inflow and it becomes outflow dominant, meaning it's ingesting its own exhaust. Rain-cooled air on the backside of a supercell is called RFD. It's a thunderstorm's modified exhaust system. We have modified exhaust systems on our vehicles. Supercells have the same thing. They have a modified exhaust system which aims the downdraft in the rain-cooled air, which is stable air, away from the thunderstorm. That allows it to be long-lived. It can ingest more warm, unstable air for a lot longer. That's how these storms sustain themselves so much longer, other than ordinary cell thunderstorms that pop up, they do their thing, and they die out. They have a self-destruct button built into them. Supercells are not that way because they have that exhaust system aimed out the back and behind it, so it's not going into its own exhaust. It is actually going into warm, moist air. But when you have an outflow boundary that gets sucked into the inflow, it kind of chokes a little bit. So I'm hoping it's going to choke on itself here. Fingers crossed for that. We're going to have to watch trends closely. But nonetheless, still a mature supercell here. Kind of see these are called bird wings. These are kind of outflow bands on the anvil of the supercell. This is your wind shear blowing the cloud tops away and north of the cell. Very plains-like setup here. Just isolated supercells here across Indiana. Very, very plains-like day here today, where we've had a lot of LP bases too. A lot of the tornadoes have been really visible today, which you don't see very often in Indiana. At the time, they're rain rafts moving at 60+ miles an hour. But any tornado is a dangerous tornado, to say the least. So always take them seriously here. Back to our Indianapolis storm here. This is our next severe thunderstorm warning of the day. Luckily, a little bit weaker, but still some strong winds here. 60 mile per hour and nickel-size hail, 0.88 here with this severe thunderstorm warning for the Indianapolis area, Noblesville area. Here in northern Indiana, only counties left here: Adams County, Jay County. These counties here are likely going to get trimmed back here.
New information. This tornado warning has been updated.
And they actually canceled the tornado warning, Ryan. So that is good news. Our tornado warning has been canceled. So this is the first time, Ryan, in how many hours that we do not have a tornado warning?
Feels like forever, but it's been probably close to 3 or 4 hours here.
Gosh, is it a good feeling, though. But again, we still have some hail with this supercell. Quarter-size hail is still occurring here. And there's your hail core right in here on CC north of Spencer.
A new considerable severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
We just replaced warning with a considerable warning, it appears, somewhere in the state. I'm trying to figure out where that's at.
I am too.
I don't see it on my screen.
That is southern Indiana. For extreme southern, maybe Harrison County, Spencer County, Vanderburgh County in Indiana. For an hour and 2 minutes here. Again, the boot of the county here, just north of Owensboro here, for our supercell, our potent supercell. A little bit more instability to work with down south here. Turn on reflectivity here with this. I figured we were going to get clipped here. We have two storms here. Another one moving into southern Vanderburgh County here. Here's your debris ball still on radar. Kind of fanning out a little bit. I'm hoping it's some fallout here. I'm hoping it's not still on the ground. That'd be a long track tornado for Kentucky. But again, still has an observed warning on it. Luckily, that's staying south, but we're going to have to watch southern Indiana here, just north of Owensboro, for this supercell here. It may clip southern Indiana if the supercell continues at its current trajectory or occludes to the north. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this for a little bit longer yet. Evansville, heavy rain for you, but the hail core is just to your south in the Kentucky side. But if you're near Ram, Indiana, and extreme southern Vanderburgh County, you're probably getting some hailstones right now near the Henderson, Kentucky area. Back up to the north here where our severe thunderstorm warnings are present. This one here, Ryan, near the Newcastle area, I wouldn't be surprised if this one's canceled, to be honest. It just does not look that appealing to me on radar. But then again, there could be some stronger winds at the surface that radar is just not picking up on. So again, treat it seriously. They don't issue severe thunderstorm warnings for no reason. They do have a credible cause to issue those. So if you are in a severe thunderstorm warning, take it seriously. All severe thunderstorm warnings across northern Indiana have been allowed to expire. Our gust run has moved off into Ohio, and to my knowledge, I think this is the first blowing dust advisory that was issued for at least my area that I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember ever being in a blowing dust advisory ever. They're just that unusual here. A lot of times, we have to have a very narrow window for them to develop, and that typically is late fall when the fields are worked and early spring when the fields are worked. Once you have crops growing and well rooted, that soil doesn't blow very easily, so it makes it really, really hard, unlike the desert Southwest where it's nothing but loose sand and soil. But kind of a unique combination of variables today across northern Indiana. And blowing dust is quite dangerous, Ryan. If you're traveling on the roads and you have a wall of dust where you have visibility at 10 miles dropping to less than a quarter of a mile and, less than a minute, that creates a pretty dangerous situation.
It's kind of like traveling in snow whiteout conditions. Like you go from
exactly like a snow squall,
to no
essentially.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah,
that.
it's a snow squall warning for dust is a good way to put it.
Yeah.
I
also want to take attention back to that Spencer cell. I'm still intrigued on the SRV. It still has some rotation on it, so I'm still watching it.
Yeah, a little bit of rotation there, still within that cell. It is a supercell. Supercell meaning it does have a rotating updraft. It has a mesocyclone. That's what makes a supercell a supercell. Anytime you have a rotating updraft or a mesocyclone, that think of it as graduating from the ordinary cell phase into a supercell phase. That's kind of that next tier of graduation for a thunderstorm. And we have that today. So we have a really good environment today. And what environment do we need for supercells is a question we get asked all the time. And we need a lot of ingredients. We need instability, but the biggest one is wind shear, both in speed and directional. You need speed shear to help get that updraft tilted. When you have speed shear, changing a different velocity and direction with height, not only do you have a rotor motion or helicity that gets picked up by the updraft, that's your spinning motion, but when you have directional or speed shear, it allows that updraft to tilt. And that's the key ingredient in long-lived supercells, and we have that today. And that also is a component that allows for hail to be produced. And we had some softballs reported, Ryan, earlier today in Sullivan, Indiana, which is very unusual and rare for Indiana. Rarely, that's in the extremely rare category for Indiana.
Sorry, did you see the picture we had of that?
No, I've not.
Here, I'll go ahead and share it to you. Go ahead and keep talking. I'll share it to you.
But for reference there, for those of you playing at home on your WeatherFact bingo cards, if you have 103 mile per hour updraft on your bingo card, that is what it took to produce softball size hail in Indiana today. You have to have air in the vertical and your updraft or your thunderstorm at a minimum 103 miles per hour. That's air going up in the thunderstorm to loft softball size hail in the thunderstorm. That is incredible power and strength, and it's just hard to fathom how much power these storms truly have to produce significant severe weather like that. Just absolutely mind-blowing to have that.
I sent that picture to you.
Wow, almost looks like a brain. Very large hailstone there, and yeah, it looks like softball. Luckily, we don't have that in Indiana at this point in time. We have a lot of quarters, though. But we also have $half size, which is $1.25, moving into the Indianapolis area. Go ahead and turn Hail Tracker back on just to get a look at that. There's our hail core here, right in there near the Mooresville area. Getting in on some hail action there. Possibly $half size hail or 50-cent pieces for reference there for those hailstones there. The airport radar's down there at the moment, so I can't see the winds. But luckily, the Indianapolis radar is right there too, so pretty good look at it as well. And also getting some reports of rainbows across the state. A lot of you guys are seeing some rainbows right now as the sun is setting. Some of those rainbows may also appear kind of orange and red right now. We have a low sun angle, but we also have some dust in the air. That's going to make some unique colors of rainbows here across the state of Indiana. So get out there and look. If you can do so safely, you may see a rainbow if you're behind any of these showers or thunderstorms. Have clear skies to the west, but also Ryan Heights corner showing some rotation, picking back up here on our supercell here.
I'm tuned into that actually on GR2. It's pulled up here. I'm just watching it kind of traverse. Nothing too intense right yet, but yeah, it needs watching.
We're not quite at the VROT for which is our inbounds and outbounds combined together, and then you divide that, and you can get your VROT, which is a threshold for tornado warning criteria that the National Weather Service uses as a guideline based on historical data that says when you meet this benchmark, historically, typically, not always, but typically, that's when tornadoes are most likely to form. It's more of a guideline, but we're close.
We have good news here. The tornado watch has been canceled for the very far southwest corner of Indiana here, down by Evansville. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 counties have been canceled from that watch.
I believe that is Paducah's CWA.
Yep.
I believe.
Yep, that's it.
Which would be right in this area here. Those of you in this area here, really, if you guys are north of this box here, you guys are in the clear here tonight.
Yep.
Actually, you know what? We're just going to do our first all clear here for some people here. For those of you watching, let me zoom in here. I'm going to take my screen full here, just to allow you guys to follow along a little bit better here. Go ahead and turn my reflectivity back on here. So here's our warnings here. Okay. So if you guys are from, let's say, Knox County, right in here, Adams, Wells County, Grant County, all the way down to, let's say, the Vincennes area, Knox County, Sullivan County, up to Vermilion County here. You guys are all in the clear here for the evening. Rest easy and enjoy the weekend. We're going to have humidity values dropping from oppressive to comfortable. We're going to have dew points in the 50s and even 40s come this weekend. So it's going to be a very pleasant weekend. Cooler temperatures. It's not going to feel like Florida or Jamaica anymore. It's going to feel very, very comfortable, very, very pleasant. So enjoy the weekend, guys. We hope you do. You guys deserve it after our severe weather outbreak here today. We do have some storms over Lake Michigan, though, but luckily those I don't think are going to impact northern Indiana. Have to keep an eye on them if they develop here from South Bend area over to the Angola. But again, not a lot of energy here to work with at this point in time now that our severe weather instability has been gobbled up by our storms ahead. So we are on the way out. We are trending down here, but we do have some supercells here still lingering on, but also a very significant supercells here across Kentucky, flirting with the Indiana Kentucky border here. Again, right in here, ping pong ball size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. If you're in Spencer County, Indiana, southern Spencer County here, watch out for some very large hail here. The tornado warning is just to your south. We are expecting this tornado to go just to your south. Radar indicated ping pong ball size hail. But if I turn on hail tracker here, let's get our dual radar back pulled up here, and we'll take a look at that for you guys here. As we turn that back on here, here's your hail core. Luckily, the worst of the hail looks to say just south, closer to Owensboro. However, here in southern Spencer County, though, State Road 161 near the Pueblo area, Africa area, and Patronville. Again, ping pong ball size hail or larger with this supercell. Vanderbilt County or Posey County just got out of some hail moving into the Boot. Evans, and there's your severe thunderstorm warning here.
A new considerable severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
You can really see that apex is bowed out front here. I was just getting ready to turn on velocity to look at the winds on that. But again, not showing it very well here, but there's a lot of distortion here, a lot of rain in the way here. So it could be showing that the 70-mile-per-hour winds and half-dollar size hail here, especially on that apex. So if you're in southern Vanderbilt County, think Evansville and south. You guys are going to get under the gun here for 70-mile-per-hour winds. Look at the apex here, right in here. If I draw it out here, you can see the gust front here, right south of that line here, potentially getting into Evansville with the strongest winds just to your south. Here's our active tornado warning here that had a tornado on the ground at one point in time. This is going to go just south of Spencer County, thankfully. However, hail is going to be moving into town here for you and some gusty winds. So again, be on the lookout for that. We are not out of the woods yet for Indiana. Back up north here. This storm here, less intriguing on velocity though. But let's go ahead and turn back on our hail tracker here to get a look at that. I want to look at CC. There's a little bit of some hail core in there, Ryan, just outside of Steinsville, south of Gosport there. Noticing some hail there. And there's a tornado warning.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
That's not surprising at all, honestly. We've been tracking that. Rotation is increased enough to warrant the mention of a tornado warning. I don't think it's overly tight. I'm looking at CC, nothing on the ground, but it is meeting the VROT criteria for a warning, so that is why they issued it. So if that tightens up any further, at that point we could have a tornado at any minute. But right now seems to be just kind of hanging out with the baseline, not trying to intensify, just kind of hanging out, so to speak.
Yep, and the strongest area of rotation will be just to the southeast of Mount Tabor, moving towards the Wayport area, I-69 here. Just on the north side of Bloomington. So I know sirens may be going off in Bloomington again. Don't freak out if you're in Bloomington. You guys are okay. You guys are not in the path of this storm. I don't know if this county is an all-warning county or all-siren county or not. Some counties are. I'm not a fan of that for this reason. For those counties that are, just because it freaks a lot of people out who are not in harm's way of storms for those all-siren counties. But again, if your sirens are sounding in Bloomington, you guys are okay. There's a new scan. Pretty tight area of rotation now, Ryan, coming into the Wayport area. This is north of Bloomington. Bloomington, you guys are all clear. You're not in a warning of any type right now. You guys are okay. So you guys monitor this storm, but you guys are not in the path at this point in time. This is for extreme portions of the northern portions of the county here, for northern Monroe County. But again, Bloomington is okay. But pretty tight rotation there. Let's go ahead and turn on CC. Just take a look at it here with that new scan here. I don't see anything on the ground. You can see our hail core, though. They're on the north side of Steinsville there. I'm going to come into the Hindustan area. If I mispronounced that, I apologize. But again, pretty tight area of rotation now, Ryan, showing up here. Definitely meets the VROT now. But we're coming closer to the radar side as well, so that helps a lot in these situations as well. So we're getting a pretty good cross-section of this supercell. This warning here likely going to be allowed to expire or cancel. Some gusty winds, perhaps, and some heavy rain coming into the Anderson area. But the storm to appear some weakened a little bit. I'm not really seeing the reflectivity that I once saw with that storm. Back down to the south here. We have a severe thunderstorm warning now for 34 minutes here. And this is for Warwick County, Spencer County, and Pike County in southwestern Indiana till 8:30 tonight. 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail here. Including Boonville. This is for this cell right in here, moving towards the Daleville, I-64, St. Menard area. Is not in a severe thunderstorm warning, but we're going to have to watch this as well. Same thing for Du Bois County, not in a severe thunderstorm warning, but we're going to have to watch that closely as the storm moves off. Kind of a cluster of storms here. Excuse me, pardon me. Flirting with the Indiana-Kentucky border here as the cold front moves off. But we have one tornado warning in the state of Indiana. And we do have this severe thunderstorm warning for ping pong ball, half dollar size hail, 50-cent piece hail here for this core coming into the Mooresville area, $half size hail possible for that storm there. So again, a very healthy storm here.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit tighter there, Caleb.
It is.
Just a bit.
Yeah, just a bit. We're keeping an eye on it here. But
and last scan completely broadens it out. Thinking that could be clutter on the south side of that if you kind of animate it. Actually, Caleb, we actually have a report of a train spotter reporting a tornado on that storm.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I see a wall cloud on an INDOT camera right now, but I don't see a tornado on it.
Yeah, that'd be 850. 050 UTC, 2 miles southwest of Steinville. Train spotter reports tornado.
I'm gonna send you. Don't mind me. I'm taking a picture of something for Ryan. I know it's kind of awkward.
We gotta do what
I'm
we
gonna
gotta
send
do.
this to you. I know it. I'm sending you what I see. This is looking south. A nice low base there. This is looking south at the storm, Ryan, on the leading edge. This is looking south and east.
Yeah, hard to tell. There could be a
storm.
shelf cloud, could be a little bit of a wall cloud there. It looks probably most likely a shelf, but it's hard to tell.
Yeah. Hard to tell. Could be on the other side of the rain curtains there in that photo too I sent you, but
it's kind of slanted to the right side of the screen there, so it's interesting.
It is. It's tilted towards the rain, which intrigues me a little bit more than it would be a shelf. But I don't see a tornado on the ground.
Yeah, I don't
not
either.
Saying there isn't one. Not saying there isn't one or one briefly touched down. You should always treat a tornado warning as if there is one on the ground, as these storms here tonight have produced tornadoes very, very quickly. But again, just the way it looks, it just doesn't scream tornado at this point in time.
New information, this tornado warning has been updated.
Looks like they trimmed it back just a bit.
Yep.
It's still radar indicated, so I believe IND, Indianapolis, when we say IND, we're referring to NWS Indianapolis. They're not really confirming this either. It's just more so a report currently from a spotter reporting a tornado, but they're not updating the warning to say confirmed. So they must also believe perhaps it's likely scud, maybe a funnel cloud, I don't know. But looking at the radar here, wouldn't guess it's tornadic at this point.
Not saying you should treat it any less seriously, as it does still have rotation within the storm. It's just at the low levels of the storm where it's being sampled currently, just doesn't really scream imminent tornado, but it is there. There is rotation there, and sometimes rotation, you have a lot of frictional forces and mesomechanics at the surface that can enhance rotation under the radar as well. So not saying one didn't briefly touch down, but if it did, it was very, very brief. And there's the latest scan there, not really showing any rotation at all anymore at the surface. Mm-hmm. It has lifted in the storm. So again, I don't really see anything that screams imminent tornado here. And the NDOT camera I'm still looking at south does not show anything either. It still shows that base, Ryan, but the base is actually getting higher.
Okay, well, that's good news. Great news, actually.
On the NDOT camera that I am looking at right now. So hopefully that trend does continue. But a pretty decent outflow boundary, though, on the north side between Greenwood here and the north side of our cell here. You can kind of see that boundary here. That's good news for our Mooresville cell here. It's behind the boundary. It's going to have some work to do if it wants to sustain itself much longer. So this severe thunderstorm warning likely going to get canceled or expired here. This one here still showing $half size hail. I'll go ahead and turn our hail tracker back on here. Take a look at it. And still a little bit of a hail core here. South side of Indianapolis near the Southport area, getting into some hail, maybe some quarter-size hail mixed in there. I don't really see $half size hail, but there could be a few larger stones, perhaps mixing down. Strongest hail core is our supercell to the south here. Just flirting with the county line here, just south of Martinsville, getting into some hail right up in there. But back to our velocity here on rotation, it looks unimpressive at this point in time. Which is why Indianapolis likely kept that radar indicated rotation, just because of that. But tornadoes form quickly from severe thunderstorm warnings and rotating ones at that, so it is something to keep an eye on as well. Back down to southern Indiana, I don't want to leave these storms out of the loop here, as these are some pretty potent storms here, having some radar issues there a little bit. But as we turn on our really kind of a messy situation here as these storms are interacting with each other. Looking at our hail core, I don't really see as a pronounced hail core, not like I did at one point in time. Maybe a little bit of some hail here near the Stanley area. This is lagging behind a little bit here. So this could be your hail core here moving towards the Hatfield area, Rockport area, southern Spencer County, Indiana. Go ahead and turn our VIL on for the hail core. Still showing a pretty potent hail core on this storm here, so well deserving of a severe thunderstorm warning there. This one here does not include Du Bois County, but it does include Warwick County, Spencer, and Pike. Quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds for another 27 minutes here. And there we go. I spoke too soon. Du Bois County is now in a severe thunderstorm warning for Crawford County, Du Bois County, Perry, and Orange County now until 8:30. Quarter size hail in 60 miles per hour. This does include Jasper, Ferdinand, and Huntingtonburg. And this is for this cell here. Moving up to the north and northeast at 60 miles an hour. So it is moving pretty fast. Just a wind and hail threat for this storm. No tornado risk down here at this point in time anywhere across this portion of Indiana. That tornado risk is limited to Kentucky at this point in time. But we do have one tornado warning still in effect here. Still has a hook on it on radar. But the storm appears to be weakening. Ryan, the cloud tops appear to be shrinking a little bit as well.
Yeah, and also want to kind of... It's kind of hard to say everything's on the downtrend here, but looking at the cells out to the west there, that line does not look impressive from Muncie down to Greenfield. That doesn't look impressive much at all. And these cells that are currently warned south of Indianapolis just don't really strike me as severe. Do you? Do they? For you?
They're definitely on the downtrend, for sure. And looking on velocity here, I don't really see a lot of wind with them, to be honest. They did trim that warning back. They are leaving this warning here at $half size hail. So perhaps there is still some hail aloft that is working its way back down to the ground. But in terms of wind, I don't see a lot of wind with these storms.
Yeah, and you would also think that with the Indianapolis radar being so close, we're looking at the surface area. So we're not seeing winds on the ground, which is really good news. So these storms do appear to be elevated in nature and likely weakening, slowly weakening as they progress
unless
eastward.
There's some evaporative cooling going on that is bringing down some winds ahead of these storms that the radar can't see. There is always that possibility. But for right now, they are weakening. I don't want to sound, I guess, like I'm downplaying this 100%. We are still in a tornado watch. We do still have a tornado warning in the state of Indiana. However, these storms are weakening.
New information. This tornado warning has been
back
updated.
even further, and I will say it's a very, very small tornado warning now, but it does. It's starting to intrigue me just a bit there, but for the area to the north of the current warning, so it's interesting. Look at the rotation. Looks like the kind of meets up further north there, outside the warning. So, also they trimmed back the considerable warning further south, so that's also good news. That's for the Evansville area. So Evansville, you're about to be in the all clear for that particular warning very soon.
Yep, those of you in the all clear right now. Yeah, those of you in the all clear right now, if I draw a line, and really actually, you guys are in the all clear too. So you guys are good too in that box. But if you are from that box, like think Jay County, Blackford, and Grant County, endpoints way over here, you guys are in the all clear here tonight. At this point in time, there is still that severe thunderstorm watch for northern Indiana. However, that's likely going to get trimmed back here very soon, I would assume. And yeah, looking at velocity, Ryan, even where you were talking about, though, it really doesn't look... It doesn't scream tornadic. Nope. It really doesn't. To me, it almost looks like a downdraft, maybe part of the core. They're running more parallel to each other than they are holding hands. So to me, this is a downdraft and a little bit of convergence, but doesn't really scream a mesocyclone, at least at the surface.
Yeah, I agree with you.
A lot of clear air, but they're likely just going to let this tornado warning play out and cancel it unless something changes and this storm begins to cycle through, which could happen. It is a supercell. But at this point in time, it doesn't really scream imminent tornado at all at this point in time. There's the radar beam going over. Still showing a hook on it, but it just looks messy. It's struggling. And a lot of that is thanks to earlier storms that moved through the area ahead of this storm that gobbled up a lot of the ingredients ahead of this storm. And look at our outflow boundary too, Ryan. It's riding an outflow boundary and it's starting to fall behind it. So that's some good news with all of these storms here.
Yeah, Caleb, also a little bit off topic, but on topic of weather, getting reports and pictures sent in of beautiful mammatus clouds from Huntington all the way down to about the Bedford area.
This tornado warning has been updated.
So if you guys are on the backside of these storms, go outside, look up. You may see some beautiful beautiful Mattis clouds, and that warning is now canceled. So we are back in severe ops here. No more tornado warnings in the state as of current time, which is 9:08 p.m.
And some heavy rain coming into the New Palestine area here. Kind of has that supercell look to it, though, Ryan. But at this time, I don't really see anything indicating any rotation within this cell. But we are riding the outflow boundary. Something to watch here. Kind of has that bird wing shape to it a little bit. But right now, nothing that screams imminent, significant, severe at this point in time. Still is hail. So there could still be some hail in this as well. Back down south, this is where our more significant severe weather is. 60-mile-per-hour quarter-size hail. Evansville, downtown Evansville, still raining right now, but you guys are on the downtrend. In terms of severe weather, this warning will likely get trimmed back here in the next 10 minutes. If you're in southern Spencer County, some very strong winds here coming near the Pueblo area, Owensboro, Enterprise, Patronville, and Africa. Does it rain down in Africa? Yes, it does. It does in Spencer County. Rockport getting in on some torrential rainfall and also some hail. Hail's down in Africa too, apparently. Correlation coefficient here, not as tight as a hail spike as what we once had, which is good news, but there is still likely some quarter-size hail within that, and perhaps even some larger stones. This is warned for ping-pong ball-size hail, all jokes aside. This is a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. Again, 70-mile-per-hour winds here on this back warning here. Which is still in effect for another 35 minutes here. That was for this apex here. As we turn on velocity here for this storm and look at it here, a little bit weaker here. Right now, our strongest velocity is actually in Spencer County. A pretty nice pronounced gust front here from St. Menard all the way down to the Rockport, Africa, and Owensboro. Strongest winds here within this core right in here. Going to cross the Ohio River twice from the Pueblo area, Owensboro, Thurston, Kentucky here. Pretty strong winds there, Ryan. Grazing the Ohio River. So if you have any boats there, make sure they're tied down, they're docked. Could have some wave heights there on the river and some current changes as well. So keep that in mind if you're on the river, and not to mention the hail with it as well. Our severe thunderstorm warning is trimmed back here, mainly for Du Bois County now in the Ferdinand area. Likely getting some hail here in this core as well. Let's go ahead and turn on our hail tracker here just to look at that. Yep, there's your hail core right in there coming in the Huntingtonburg, Ferdinand. We'll likely see this stretched out and elongated. Kind of a stronger core taking over near the Jonesburg area, north of I-64 here, getting in on some hail there as well. If we turn on CC, I wonder if we'll see any hail there. Not a lot, maybe a little bit right in there. This would probably be where your hail is right there. Correlates pretty well with some blacks there. Pretty narrow core there, but probably some quarter-size hail there in there, perhaps. As well as 60-mile-per-hour winds there as well. So a pretty decent storm nonetheless. Going to have to watch it, though. With our strongest storm just to the south, there's your hail core right in there. Owensboro is just going to get rocked here. If you know anybody down here in the Owensboro, still a tornado warning in effect as well. Radar indicated it does have a history of producing tornadoes in Kentucky. But right now, the tornado threat in southern Indiana appears rather on the low side at this point in time, just based on convection trends and where those rotating updrafts are, and ultimately where the best dynamics are at this point in time too, Ryan. They're shifting a little bit further south, but we are still going to have to watch that. Tornado watch is still in effect here, and our tornado warning has been canceled. We're in severe ops now. That's good news here. Back to our supercell in question. I don't really see a lot of rotation in it, Ryan. New severe thunderstorm warning for the Nineveh area. 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-sized hail. This is for Shelby County, Morgan, Brown, Johnson, and Bartholomew County in central Indiana till 9:45. Quarter-sized hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds up to the north here. This severe thunderstorm warning, they extended it for half-dollar size hail, Ryan, so there must be some larger hail coming down here within this core here. And it really doesn't look half bad on reflectivity. As we turn on VIL, yeah, that hail core has intensified again, Ryan, so likely some decent hail coming in here a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
Near the New Palestine area. Quarter-size hail at least, but they have warned it for a little bit larger. If you hit play here, kind of see that bubble up here, or cell behind it. It's lagging behind, it's running behind. This storm is likely going to die out here, if I had to guess, just because it's going to get left behind by the storms out ahead of it, using up those ingredients there associated with it. I don't know what I was trying to do there. Let's go back.
Caleb, I'm going to restart the alert bar here because that warning dropped off. There's not a tornado warning currently. I'm going to try to refresh that. So if you guys hear a lot of alerts coming in at once, just bear with me here. We're going to refresh that.
Yep.
And then we're going to toggle for the alerts. And prepare your ears.
New information on this tornado has been updated.
So it didn't clear it, which is weird. So again, there's not a tornado warning in the state currently, just severe warnings. That's cool, Caleb. Thank you for sharing that. Caleb went outside when the dust was heading toward his house earlier, and he got a good picture there.
Right before the gust front came through, I went outside to take a picture of it, but I had limbs sit in the house and blew off a couple of shingles. So I kind of sheltered in place there for a minute while my Starlink was trying to reconnect with satellite as well. So while I was hunkered down, I took a picture of the gust front coming through, and it looks like a haboob. It looks like something you see in the desert Southwest, just a wall of dust connected from the cloud to the ground, just from lofted dust. And I was actually on the phone with the National Weather Service because I had a measured gust of 54 here. And as I was reporting that with visibility, he actually said a lot of this dust actually originated out west. Actually came from western Indiana and even out of state as well. It just traveled that far and stayed alluviated in the air, which is pretty fascinating to hear. Something you don't talk about very often is about blowing dust here in Indiana. It's just not something that happens very often. Very narrow windows of opportunities for blowing dust to happen, Ryan. We have to have loose soils, which only happen in the fall and the spring during spring tillage and fall tillage. And but once you have crops growing, those roots get a hold of the soil, and that soil doesn't really become alluviated in the air very often. It doesn't really get picked up. It's being held onto by crops, and that wasn't the case today, Ryan.
Yeah, not too often we get blowing dust. I mean, in the springtime, it's a little bit common, but we had dust storm warnings and blowing dust advisories. We don't get those alerts too much at all. So a little bit interesting day. We had PDS warnings, we had tornadoes, we had dust, we had hail, softball size hail at that. So it's been a little bit of everything, like a mixed boat of everything. So interesting day here in Indiana. The good news, though, is it appears the worst is over, but we still have a couple severe warnings currently out there across the Indianapolis region. $half size hail is the primary concern there. Going further south here, looks like we have some quarter size hail heading toward the Nineveh area. Further south than that, we also have a Jasper cell way down further south toward Evansville. Quarter size hail, 60 mile per hour winds with that cell. But overall, not too much tornadic wise, rotation wise happening. So that's really good news.
Yeah, but with that being said, though, I do want to bring this up. For those of you who are impacted by severe weather today, one, my heart goes out for you. We did have some stronger tornadoes today in Indiana. What they'll be rated, I don't know. Some of them may get rated over the next couple of days as damage surveys are taking place between the National Weather Service and Emergency Management. For those of you impacted by tornadoes and severe weather today, work in cooperation with your emergency management. Heed their warnings and advice. Make sure you follow them on social media. Your local EMAs will likely have a Facebook page. If you don't already follow them, I highly encourage that you do. Your emergency managers will post updates during times of bad damage. Curfews may be in place, so it's always good to know where those curfews are. If you are in areas that were impacted by severe weather today, including tornadoes, we had tornado touchdowns. Bloomington, Indiana, Southern Indiana had tornadoes touch down today, and some of them looked pretty impressive, both from video footage that I have seen and on radar and VROD alone. So again, if you're in those areas that were impacted by severe weather, couple of things to keep in mind. Heed all warnings and wording by your local emergency management. Do not be a sightseer that plugs up roads. Do not be those people. Keep the roads free and open for emergency personnel, firefighters, EMS, and power companies as well. Need those roads open so that they can restore power to those who have lost it, and allow crews to get out and get the work done. And especially now that it is getting dark, the severe hazards don't end as soon as the severe thunderstorm warning or tornado warning has ended. In fact, they actually continue a lot longer than that, especially for those that have received damage. And a lot of that is because of damage, especially at night. Now that it's getting dark, you're not going to see the hazards. You're not going to see the down wires on the ground. You're not going to see that tree limb that you may avoid hitting during the day. So again, do keep this in mind as you're going out through the night here. Heed all curfews that are in place, if there are any, by your local emergency management or county officials. Do give them a like and follow on Facebook, and do heed any wording that they use. In fact, it can be unlawful to disregard their wording as well. Some people can get in trouble with law enforcement if you do not heed those warnings and go into a damage zone after curfew. So again, heed all curfews, heed all local information from local emergency management, and we'll all get through this together. So something I want to make known to everybody, as I know it's really easy to jump on the bandwagon of sightseeing and tourists after severe weather, but we do need to be cognizant of those emergency officials who are out doing their jobs here tonight. And that goes for any severe weather event across Indiana, whether it's straight line wind damage, tornado damage, no weather the damage. Please be cognizant of those emergency officials who are going out there doing their jobs. So make sure we all do our part to keep them safe as they work hard to make sure you are safe and in the best position possible as well. So a shout out to all the local EMAs who are working hard tonight through the night to keep you safe, and who will be working hard with damage surveys over the next couple of days as well. So a shout out to you folk. Du Bois County here, still under a severe thunderstorm warning, 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail. Just to the east of the Huntingburg area, State Road 162. Quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds here possible. Kind of see the gust front here on it a little bit distorted here. This is misleading here. This is actually not wind. This is just clutter and distortion here. We call that clear air, which is essentially what it is, air with nothing in it. But that can confuse the radar at times when you have precipitation near it or not that far away. Back down to our southern Indiana storm here. Evansville, you have been trimmed out of the warning, and you guys are in the all clear. Likely another warning just got trimmed back a little bit, just a smidge as well, which is good. Vandenberg County, still a little bit in the severe thunderstorm warning. However, all of Vandenberg County is in the clear now. I will go ahead and give the official all clear for Vandenberg, Posey County, and Gibson County. You guys are in the all clear. Same with Vincennes. And in fact, we're going to go ahead and draw a line here for those of you in the all clear, just so you guys will know. And we're going to include Vandenberg and Posey County and Gibson County. And we're going to go up here. West side of Indianapolis, you guys are in the clear. East side got a little bit longer to go yet. And right in here. So if you guys are Grant, Jay, Hunting, King County, Wells County, Adams County, this vicinity here. And if you're north of that, if you're west of this line here, you guys are in the clear. If you guys are in any of this area, right in here, you guys are in the all clear. Western Indiana, enjoy your weekend. Lower humidity on the way. We're going to have dew points dropping into the 50s and 40s. We're going to go from Florida air to comfortable air. We're going to be on cruise control here this weekend. It's going to feel pretty nice with Mother Nature air conditioning here coming back into the picture. We had heat indexes yesterday in the upper 90s. Across parts of Indiana, and it was oppressive yesterday, B. I'm thankful we had a little bit of a breeze to help kind of help with the Gulf juice a little bit, as I'm going to call it there. It was a lot of juice brought up from the Gulf yesterday. If you guys are in Southeast Indiana, we still have maybe an hour or so to go, if not longer. Ryan, I disappeared. Hey, I'm back. So one more time, for those of you asking for the clear, we're going to draw a line here. I hope all of you know how to read yourself on a map. If you guys are on this side of the line. I hope you guys all know where you're at geographically speaking. If you guys are on this side of the line here, you guys are in the clear. If you guys are on this side of the line, not in the clear. There's an X there. So again, hopefully you guys can read the map and know where you're at on the map. Again, that's a skill everybody needs to have. If you don't know how to do that, now's a good time to refresh your skills and know how to find yourself on a map. Google Maps is a great source for that. Google Maps, due to location finder, and your GPS will pinpoint you on where you are on the map. So if you guys don't know how to read yourself on a map, go ahead and do that and familiarize yourself with that. Back here on the Indianapolis storm here, severe thunderstorm warning, $half size hail still including here. Pretty juicy storm here taking over. The storm lagging behind, really just heavy rain at this point in time here. Severe thunderstorm warning continuing there for across southern Indiana. This one here has not been canceled yet. Kind of funny. We have two different CWAs here. Louisville trimming this one back. Paducah has not caught up yet, but as you can see, Paducah is extremely busy right now. So they'll trim it back when they can. But again, this area is in the all clear. Evansville, Boonville, Mount Vernon, you guys are in the all clear for the day. Washington, Bedford, Bloomington, you guys are good. Indianapolis downtown vicinity, you guys are in the all clear. Southeast side of town, have a few more minutes yet, as we have two severe thunderstorm warnings here. 1:60 for this tail end Charlie here on behind it, southeast of Beech Grove, Greenwood area, still under a severe thunderstorm warning. Not a lot of super strong winds here, but mainly a hail threat with these as we go throughout the remainder of the night here. Turn back on our hail tracker here. There's your updrafts. A little bit of hail near the Nineveh area, north of Greenwood, and then a big hail core south of Greenfield here on our dominant storm here coming into the Knightstown area, Rushville, Greenfield area here. This severe thunderstorm warning is for Hancock, Rush County, Henry, and Shelby County until 10:15 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So another 50 minutes here for this guy. But we are on the downtrend here. But again, we do have several severe thunderstorm warnings in the state of Indiana. So the severe threat is not over. Largest hail core right now is southern Indiana, near the Du Bois County area. That'll be moving out of Du Bois County, moving into the areas off to the north and east here soon. This storm is also booking it. It is moving off to the north and east at 70 miles an hour. So strong winds here and quarter-size hail. Wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit higher stones, maybe a few larger stones mixing down in on that one as well. Southern Spencer County, the worst of it is over for you guys. Just some heavy rain, lightning, but Spencer County, you'll likely be in the clear here in just a few more minutes. Bear with it here. You guys are almost in the clear. Yeah, many of us are so close to being in the clear. We just got a little bit more to go yet. The good news is a lot of our atmospheric energy, a lot of it CAPE. CAPE stands for convective availability of potential energy. That's how we measure the oomph in the atmosphere. How much fuel do we have? How much oomph and kick do we have in the atmosphere? A lot of that was used up by storms earlier this afternoon. And so there's a little bit of energy left over, but a lot of it has been allowed to be gobbled up by our previous storms, which is why I think widespread severe weather risk is done. It'll stay pretty isolated here for the rest of the night, but we do still have quite a few severe thunderstorm warnings for southeast Indiana, and we will have that here for the next hour or so across Indiana before we are all said and done here across the state of Indiana. Oh, and actually we have a damage report coming in actually from my hometown of Bluffton, Indiana. Have a large utility pole, high tension wire near the Taco Bell, which would be on the just north side of the river, right about here. If you're traveling State Road 1, a large high tension wire is down. It's not over the road, but it is listing there pretty hard. Local PD and emergency management there. Picture got sent in to me there from Wells County. So damage was done in Bluffton. We do have a large high tension wire that is down there, and there's one of those wires that got hit by a driver a couple years ago too. Whether that's the same pole or not, I don't know. That'd be a cruel irony there. But again, high tension wire is down in Bluffton, so do be aware of that. Maybe some power outages there as a result as they change the pole out and get that fixed. So scattered reports here of quite a bit of damage here in Indiana, from straight line winds to tornado damage. Again, work with your emergency management officials. See all warnings and guidelines they have published for you. And any curfews that may be implemented here tonight as the damage is assessed and the cleanup process is started. So again, always heed your emergency management personnel. And they'll thank you for doing that as well. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, beautiful Mamatis there, and that's often the case on the backside of these thunderstorms. We call these the anvils of the thunderstorms. A lot of times you can have some Mamatis underneath, which is some billowing pillow-like clouds that hang underneath of these storms. They make beautiful sunset pictures when they're backlit and you're on the west side of these storms looking at them from a distance, but do so carefully. If you can hear thunder, you are still close enough to get struck by lightning. Sometimes lightning can come off of the anvil of these storms, and a lot of times those are positive bolts too. So they're pretty powerful bolts. So again, do be careful. Lightning is very dangerous in itself. Does not make a storm severe, but a lot of the deaths around the world, and not just the United States, are caused by indirect impacts due to lightning not being directly struck, but lightning strikes nearby. And the ground current can get you, whether that's through piping in your house, through ground current. Again, lightning in itself is a hazard and can be dangerous. Sometimes you don't get a second chance. And sometimes you don't hear the strike that kills you either. Our severe thunderstorm warning was trimmed back. Indianapolis, you are 100% in the clear now. You are good. Still some heavy rain, maybe some pea-sized hail near the Sugar Creek, New Palestine area, but our severe thunderstorm warning has been allowed to be canceled. This one here, quarter-size hail. 60-mile-per-hour winds for Franklin. This is a really skinny warning here, only a couple miles wide. Wouldn't be surprised to see that reduced to maybe a special weather statement either. These storms are just looking less impressive. Our dominant storm here, coming into Rush County, Indiana, still producing severe weather here. We do have some hail here of the quarter-size hail, or actually, I guess buck 25, $half size hail, still being warned here for that cell as well. There's your hail core right in here, likely a little bit to the east coming into the Carthage area and Mays area north of Rushville. Back down to southern Indiana, though. Our severe thunderstorm warning, I was actually surprised, Ryan, to see this one canceled for this cell here. May have a little bit of a higher melting point on it, and some of those larger stones may not be making it to the ground. But again, strong thunderstorm nonetheless. Some of those larger stones may just not be reaching the ground. May have a high melting point.
Yeah, Caleb, that core of the storm you just talked about there, it's only up to about 13,000 feet at 55 dBz, which is probably why that warning was discontinued. So it's hailing probably peas at the ground, but the updraft isn't tall enough to support larger hailstones.
Nope.
So we have two warnings, technically three currently in the state. Actually, yeah, three. They had that one way down there by Owensboro, but that storm has moved out of the warning polygon. We have one also down there by Tell City and Kennelton. Currently,
that'd be southern Perry County, Indiana there. For this storm here. There's actually two separate cores, Ryan. The one that is warned is currently south of Perry County for the ping pong ball size hail. That supercell there, but we also have a core moving into the Tell City area that could have maybe some small hail, maybe up to maybe some penny size hail perhaps there near the State Road 37 area. But the cell that this warning is for this cell outside Owensboro, Kentucky, as are the tornado warnings on the south side of that cell. But on the north side, that's where your downdraft is, and that is where your hail core is in that storm as well. But this cell here, though, Ryan, the updraft here near Knightstown is looking a little bit less impressive there. I'm not solely sold on a buck 25 hail anymore on that cell.
Yeah, I'm not either.
But there could be some larger hailstones aloft. As those hailstones fall, there's a melting point where they run into some larger air, or some not larger air, warmer air. They turn into wet hailstones where they get some liquid water on the outside. They start to melt a little bit, and you have some smaller hail reaching the ground. And with a weaker updraft, it's harder to support larger stones. Again, for those of you with Wacky Weather Bingo at home, if you guys have 103 mile per hour updraft on your bingo card tonight, that is what happened in Sullivan County, Indiana, and areas around there where we had softball size hail reported earlier today. That is 4 inches diameter, which is huge. It's actually near record territory for Indiana. Our largest hailstone recorded in Indiana was a little bit larger than that back in, I think, mid-2000s, maybe 2013, 2008, something like that. And Grant County and Southern Indiana both tie the record for that, which is just over 4 inches. So I don't think we beat the record today unless there's an unconfirmed report somewhere. But we were close. Just goes to show we don't get large hail like that in Indiana very often. Maybe one day a year do we get hail of that size, and not every year do we see that. Even baseball and golf balls on the rarer side for Indiana. But softball size hail is extremely rare in Indiana. It takes an updraft of 103 miles per hour in the verticals to support softball size hail, which is crazy fast, Ryan, to think about that. Above your head, there's air rising at 103 miles per hour upward to loft hail the size of a softball. Like when you blow, you're able to lift softballs and keep them suspended in the air, and that's just crazy. The amount of energy that storm had is hard to fathom on how powerful these storms really are and what they can be. But the good news is, though, we are on the downtrend across Indiana as a whole, and hopefully this downtrend continues here throughout the night so that we can enjoy our weekend here. We still have a tornado watch in effect here for central and southern Indiana, and a severe thunderstorm watch for northern Indiana. However, I would expect once this line fully moves into Ohio, that severe thunderstorm watch will likely get canceled, Ryan.
Yeah, there's no reason for them to continue that.
We have some storms across our northern neighbors to the north across Michigan. However, those are unlikely to develop into something across northern Indiana. We just don't have the instability for it at this point in time. It has been gobbled up by our storms that are moving out of the state at this point in time. There's our Rush County severe thunderstorm warning. Trim back a little bit here. Quarter size hail 60. So they did bring the hail size down, which was expected. We just didn't see the updraft there for hail of a $1.25. Back down south, Perry County, Indiana. You guys, Boonville and this area here, you guys are roughly in the clear here for Davies County and Spencer County. You guys are okay here. For Tell City, though, for Perry County, you got a little bit longer to go yet as this severe thunderstorm works its way through. Pretty strong winds here, Ryan, near Derby and Dexter. Look at your gust front here on the core here. So again, some stronger winds here associated with this moving in here.
I have more good news, Caleb.
I love good news.
They have forwent issuing another severe warning for the Connersville cell. Instead, they opted for a statement: wind gust up to 45 miles per hour. So we are below severe criteria at this point.
Yep, except for far southern Indiana.
Yep. So
if I switch radars here, look at your gust front here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually surprised we don't have a warning up here for the Dexter area. Looking at Louisville radar here. That's a pretty nice gust front there as it's moving across the river here. But our severe weather ops here, Ryan, are probably almost done. Probably just have a little bit longer to go here before we are done.
Yeah, I'd agree. I don't know if you want to stay up, Caleb, but we can always jump over to Michigan because they're still going nuts up there with hail. So there's always something to do here at the business.
Absolutely. Absolutely. when there's nothing going on in one state, chances are your neighbor may not be so lucky.
Yep.
And
the part
that
about
severe
crew there
thunderstorm
is
watch was canceled.
what?
Northern Indiana is no longer in a watch. That has been canceled.
Excellent news. All clear will be given out pretty soon. Not quite yet, but for the most part of the state, you guys are clear. But there are select areas out there that still have storms, and we'll have storms for about a half hour or more. But after that, we should be good. Very, very select portions of Indiana. You can probably divide that in half there, honestly. Indianapolis, all clear. Fort Wayne, all clear. Gary, all clear. Logansport, Kokomo, Lafayette, Rensselaer. Did I get that right, Caleb? Rensselaer?
Rensselaer, yep.
Yeah, I keep butchering it, but I think I got it right finally. Vincennes, Terre Haute, all good to go to bed.
Yeah, really just this confined area here. If you're over here, you guys are okay. But down here, got a little bit more to go yet. If you want to get... Yeah, really just this area here. Not done.
There you go.
And good.
Smiley face.
There we go. Now we're official here. So we got a frowny face and a smiley face. If you're in the frowny face area on this side of the line here, you guys got a little bit more to go yet here tonight. But if you're over here, you guys are in the all clear. So we are almost done here. And we have a beautiful weekend on tap too, Ryan. I was telling everybody how the muggy meter is going way down. The tropical humidity is getting kicked out of the state, which I don't know if anybody's going to complain about that. It was quite oppressive.
There's your new warning for that southern gust front.
Yep. Right here, just popped up here. 60 mile per hour and quarter size hail here. But it's largely moving into Kentucky here. But again, it's going to move back into Indiana though. The Ohio River does bend and curve. It goes north and south. So this did add Crawford County in the severe thunderstorm warning. This goes until 9:39 p.m. Or sorry, at 9:39 p.m. That is now. I'm sorry, I misspoke. It is until 10 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. But it'll likely get trimmed out of Indiana before that, at least back here. But till 10 o'clock for over here as it heads into the Louisville area. But this storm here, though, has appeared to be below severe criteria, which is good news. Look at our velocity on it. Not too impressive. As we go to our updraft on it, get a look at our VIL. Still a little bit of a hail core on it, but likely below quarter size hail. Maybe some peas to pennies in there at most. Likely smaller than penny. Yeah, definitely smaller than penny.
This storm is also pushing east at 65 miles per hour, so it'll be out of the state here across the southern part of Harrison County very quickly, I'd have to imagine. So it won't be live for too much longer. Just got to cover this Harrison County. I think we'll be good to go, Caleb.
Yeah, I agree. Really looking pretty good overall statewide. Again, this storm here, they opted not to reissue a warning on it. Still going to have to keep an eye on it, though. It is still a strong thunderstorm, despite a special weather statement being issued for it. Southern Indiana, though, still has a little bit to go yet. We have this storm here that's going to move back into Indiana. It's in Kentucky right now, but it's going to move back into Indiana one more time. And then after that, it'll be in Kentucky. And we are clean and green once that happens down here. So Evansville, you guys are in the clear for the night. Boonville, you guys are in the clear for the night. And Leopold, you guys are officially in the clear here tonight. Same with Tell City. So woohoo! You guys are clean and green here tonight. The cold front is moving through as I speak. So who's not in the clear, though? Corydon, the severe southern Indiana, Elizabeth, Muckport, all down here in a severe thunderstorm warning as this storm moves across. For Harrison County, Crawford County, got to keep an eye on you guys here as this severe thunderstorm moves into Kentucky and back into Indiana and then back into Kentucky again. So for the myth that's busted for that severe storms don't cross rivers, well, this one is crossing the river twice, Ryan. So I think that that myth is busted, that rivers can block severe weather. Well, this one crossed the river twice.
Yeah, that's unfortunately a myth that a lot of people believe, but there is no truth to it.
Yeah, we had that tornado down here, I think last year. One of our first tornadoes of the year, I think in February, actually crossed the Ohio River twice in southeast Indiana last year.
I remember that. We had video of that
in
too.
February. It was in February. Yeah, crossed the river twice. So that myth is busted. But I also want to say thanks for following us and thanks for trusting us here today through today's severe weather outbreak today. I think it's safe to say we had a severe weather outbreak today across Indiana. We had as many as 4 or 5 tornado warnings at the same time, with multiple tornadoes on the ground today, Ryan, across Indiana, with one supercell producing a tornado family. Ryan, how does a tornado family form, and what is a tornado family?
Tornado family is when a cyclical supercell, which is one storm producing many tornadoes over and over and over again, kind of recycles itself over and over. So I'm not going to go into the gritty details, but what it basically does is it sucks its own air in, it kind of recycles on that, it'll choke itself off, and then it'll regain strength. It'll continue doing that and cycle and cycle and cycle over and over again. And it can and does produce numerous tornadoes. It can be one long track, it can be several short-lived tornadoes. It can do a lot of different things, but we don't get cyclical supercells very often in Indiana, but that's the easier explanation for them. Not all storms can do that. As Caleb said, they have their own exhaust system, so to speak, so they can kind of feed off each other or feed off itself, and also kind of put its own exhaust out the back. It's kind of
think
cool.
of it as it's a modified exhaust system. is how I like to put it. You know, people like to put modified exhaust on their cars because it sounds cool, right? Well, supercells kind of do the same thing. Not because it sounds well, it does sound cool, but it just happens. As you get a supercell thunderstorm, in an ordinary cell thunderstorm, which is your general pop-ups, they have a lifespan of anywhere between 20 and 30 minutes. It really doesn't last long for an ordinary cell thunderstorm. They pop up, but they die fairly quickly because their intake and exhaust are in the same place. When you get that separated in a supercell, where your intake is in front and your exhaust is in the back, they never interfere with each other. You're constantly sucking in warm, unstable air while the exhaust system is getting rid of the stable air out behind the storm. So it's cycling, it's self-sustained. And that's what allows supercells to be long-lived and long-tracked, is because they have those gears working in sequence with each other, where it's ingesting warm air and cold air is going out and it doesn't interfere. But sometimes through an unsuccessful cycle or change in environment, or you get a bunch of storms fighting over the same area, sometimes it can become outflow dominant, where the outflow boundary or the exhaust system of the thunderstorm becomes shifted, and that rain-cooled air gets re-ingested into the storm, and that's called outflow dominant. A lot of times the cloud base of the storm will raise a little bit. You're no longer sucking in warm air, you're sucking in your own air, your own rain-cooled air of the storm, and that becomes sometimes the end of the thunderstorm, unless it can regroup and recycle and reorganize. But in a nutshell, that's how a supercell works. There's a lot of mesomechanics that really go into a thunderstorm, specifically a supercell. They are well-oiled machines, and everything has to work in sequence to even allow a supercell to be a supercell and to sustain itself as a supercell. Same thing for a tornado. It's really a wonder that tornadoes occur at all after you have everything come together in sequence at just the right time, right amount, right place for a tornado to form at all. It's called the storm scale process, which is a process of all these different dynamical attributes coming together at the same time at the same place to allow a tornado to form. And if you really dive into the mesoanalysis and mesomechanics behind a tornado, just at the surface, not talking about kilometers in the air, we're talking just the near term, just 5,000 feet or less. It's amazing on how many attributes actually go together to allow tornadoes to form at all, and it really is amazing. Sorry about that rant there. I kind of got going.
It's not a rant, it's a bunny trail, but it's actually informative and it's pretty cool. So
Yeah, weather's cool, and that's the nice thing about this job. A lot of people complain about how their job becomes repetitive. Well, even though this job is repetitive, weather is constantly changing. It gives us something new to talk about every day, and that's one of the cool things about meteorology and the science of meteorology and being a younger science. You're never done learning and seeing new things. Mother Nature always has a way to surprise you, and seeing new things every day. It really does make this job really, really cool. But what also makes it cool is being able to come on here and serve the residents of Indiana, keeping you guys ahead of the storm from beginning to end here, with no commercial breaks. That's the beauty about what we do and why we do it. We don't cut in for a commercial break during a tornado warning. We will stay on to cover you guys from beginning to end, and that is something we take pride in, and don't really see it as a job. We see it as an opportunity to serve you, and it's a privilege to be able to do it as well. And I think Ryan would agree with me there.
yeah, this is, you know, we can go into the gritty details of how we all started, but where we are today, when we hop on here to do this live stream for you guys or make our forecast graphics and write up our forecast, it takes a bit of time, but this is what we love doing. I came from a background of factory work and also Amazon, FedEx driving. I know Caleb came from an agricultural background. I'll let him go into that if he wants to, but this is where personally, this is my home. Weather, storm chasing, and public communication, education, and serving you guys. Because a lot of you guys, if you're watching us, you may have some knowledge of weather, but most of you guys, I assume, this isn't a knock on you, most of you guys can open a radar and figure out what's coming towards you. And that's where we come in. That's where we can communicate, hey, this is what's coming. This is where it's headed. That's important, but it's also what I love to do because it's just, I don't know. It's humbling to experience the power of nature. And I'm tired. I'm trying to form words here. Maybe Caleb can put into words for me, but
I'll speak for Ryan. He was up till 5 a.m. last night. We had a severe weather event in Michigan last night that we were covering, and which was a high-end event for Michigan. And we're doing it again today for Indiana. So we do cover Michigan days. On back-to-back days. Michigan Storm Chasers. We cover Indiana. We actually have a severe thunderstorm warning, Ryan. That storm has re-intensified. This does include Richmond, Indiana. Quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds, moving east at 40 miles an hour. So there is a little bit of a hail core on that. We'll jump in here briefly. You can see the hail core here going to go just south of Cambridge City near Richmond. It's going to stay south of I-70. I-70, though, getting in some heavy rain. But the storm did re-intensify, and it is still kind of has that supercell look to it. That tilted updraft, not in a tornadic way. Not all supercells are tornado producers. In fact, most of them are not. Only about 5% of them actually, or less, go on to actually produce tornadoes. Most supercell thunderstorms are hail and wind makers. Thanks to that tilted updraft and that modified exhaust system. That modified exhaust system can produce some pretty strong winds on the backside, but it can also have a forward flank downdraft, which is a modified exhaust system on the north side of the storm and ahead of the storm on a gust front. So it has multiple ways to produce straight line winds, and a lot of these storms will do that. This one here is a hail maker today, and a lot of hail was observed here in Indiana today, and this one's no exception for that. Still tapping into some colder air aloft. We have some strong thermodynamics today when we have that separation between cold air aloft and warm, moist, unstable air at the surface. That creates lift. We call that adiabatic rates, our lapse rates. How fast or high is that air parcel allowed to rise and condense in the storms? And the more unstable air that you have, the more rising you have in energy, the stronger these storms can get. And they got pretty strong today. We had a lapse rates pretty strong. Those air parcels were rising fast. And updrafts were allowed to get over 100 miles an hour today in the vertical, which is very rare here in Indiana. We don't see that very often at all. I like to use the term your weather bingo card for those of you playing at home. If you guys had 103 mile per hour updraft on it, you guys can go ahead and mark that box on your bingo card. That is what we had here today for softball size hail. Takes 103, at least 103 mile per hour updraft to loft softball size hail, which is just crazy. And for baseball size hail, we had a lot of that today. That's 81 miles per hour for baseball. So, which go ahead. Yeah. Yeah.
A new considerable severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
Yep. Yep. I have it pulled up right here. This includes coming into the Louisville area for wind is what the considerable tag is for. Hail is still at a 1/4 inch, but you can see this apex bow here near the Brandenburg Corridor area here in Indiana. A really strong wind machine here. In fact, let's go ahead and switch it back to velocity here. Very, very potent gust front here. If I get rid of this doodad, oh, that's not what I wanted. There, that's what I wanted. If I zoom in here, here's our leading edge of the gust front here. Very strong winds here. In fact, the strongest winds within this line are actually on the Indiana-Kentucky border, coming near Tobacco Landing, Evans Landing, the Macedonia area as well. Dogwood, very strong winds here. Ryan, close to 70 miles an hour here, where you see these turquoise blues. That's very strong winds here, and we're right here at the radar.
Wouldn't be shocked, Kale, if you go back to the scan at, what time is this? 9:51. There could be a little bit like an embedded mesovortice in there, trying to like a little spin up perhaps. So maybe just a little bit of a tornado risk with this line as well. But primarily, it's going to be in Kentucky here pretty quickly, which is good news. But we're going to watch that closely here as it pushes toward the Louisville radar.
Yeah, nothing that really screams tornado at this point in time on CC. No debris signature or anything like that. But it is a windbag. It is a very strong storm. If you know anybody in Louisville, especially on the south side of Louisville, Shepherdsville area in Kentucky, let them know they have some significant winds coming their way, especially in West Point. Winds of 70 miles per hour coming your way. And here's the radar, and here's the winds here. What we're measuring here, Ryan, is really only a couple hundred feet off the ground, 200 feet max.
Yeah, it's actually
really what we're seeing here. So what we're seeing here, he can get an official measurement of that.
Yep, I can get that
on GR2 there. But what's happening here is likely also occurring on the ground, if not just above it. So these are very significant winds here. Definitely agree with the warning there put out by the National Weather Service, and it's also moving very, very quickly as well. This is going to be out of Indiana here fairly quickly as well.
Caleb,
65. Yeah.
These winds actually. I'm gonna take my screen back if you don't mind. These winds in the blues. On the bottom of your screen there, these are 84 mile per hour winds at 300 feet off the ground. These are destructive winds, actually. So I wouldn't be shocked if they pull the trigger on a destructive warning here. It's considerable, which is 70, but there's pockets in these blue areas here, the 80 to 85 mile an hour winds here. This is 83.9. Over here is 83.9 as well, 81. Like there's, it's actually pretty widespread here. It's localized, but it's also in a bigger pocket of it, so it's not, very localized. This whole entire bright color is 70 to 80. So wouldn't be shocked if they issue a destructive warning here out ahead of this line. Regardless, though, as Caleb mentioned, if you guys happen to know people in Louisville or surrounding areas like Heritage Creek, Shepherdsville, Belmont, Bullitt County, you guys need to be inside away from windows. This is Kentucky, by the way. Currently destructive severe winds pushing toward the radar, 86 miles per hour at 150 feet. Caleb, I'd be kind of worried here.
Well,
the radar might go offline if that's the case. This is 86 miles per hour about to impact the radar. We might lose the Louisville radar here momentarily.
Luckily, they have predictive domes on them for a reason. But the biggest thing is power. And when the backups come online, if they lose power here at the weather station, hopefully we'll get some really good data from it, though. It is going to go right over the Louisville National Weather Service office here. They're actually getting a direct hit from this here.
Their office is somewhere right here, I believe. And
yeah, it's pretty close by, I thought.
And this pocket there, I'm getting 82, 86. Like
It's going right at the radar.
And this is at the surface too. The beam height here is 150 feet, so the beam kind of goes upwards just a bit here, and that's less than half a football field off the ground. So I have to imagine that these are destructive, severe winds heading in toward the West Point and Muldrow area. And again, Shepherdsville,
they do take shelter, so there's a chance they're hunkering down here for this, and then they may up the warning as soon as it passes or something as well. So.
Yeah, this is actually a pretty dangerous situation here for that southern part of Harrison County. Most of it's actually moving into Kentucky as we speak. Again, West Point area.
Victor Landing, New Boston, Evers Landing, still in Indiana, still potent winds here. But again, it's extreme. Yeah, look at that new scan, Ryan, up to the radar.
Yep. 86 miles per hour. Sorry, 91 at 80 feet. 91 miles per hour at 80 feet. I know you guys probably can't see this. I'll go and take my screen. But look at the bottom down here where my mouse is kind of circling. That's going to tell you the miles per hour. You can see they're 90.6 there at 81 feet. It's kind of hard to tell there, but that is directly impacting the radar right now. We'll see if we get a new scan here if the radar goes offline. I'd be really worried for the Louisville radar.
Yeah. Luckily, there's no significant hail in this, so. But still, glad we have. There's a reason they have domes on the radar stations. If you ever drive by, they have that kind of octagonal dome on top of it, and that's to protect the instrumentation on the inside. Radars are extremely expensive. They're expensive to maintain. And they're highly valuable equipment as well. We can't afford to have them get damaged. So if the dome gets damaged and the radar's okay, domes can be fixed a little bit faster than the radars themselves. So that is why you have that white dome on the outside. But right now the radar is still spinning. She's still online. But right now it's getting impacted directly right now. Winds of pockets of winds of 80 plus, impacting the radar site right now as it moves into Kentucky.
It is over the radar as we speak.
You have to see if we get a new warning here as well. But probably a hairy moment there at the WFO there. If their WFO just happens to be right there. Wow. I actually will be a little bit surprised if it doesn't go offline for a little bit.
Yeah, that's intense winds. That's nothing to play around with. Also, apparently I was muted for the entire time I was explaining the GR2 heights and the side panel look. I was muted the entire time.
I didn't catch that.
But yeah, you could hear me just fine because I going auto direct to you, but it wasn't being broadcasted because I muted myself. I'll go over it again here. I'll go over it again here in a little bit, but severe warning continues here for Centerville, Richmond areas. 1-inch hail, which is quarter size in diameter, as well as 60-mile-per-hour winds. All clear, minus the one county. We're going to say 2 counties here, Caleb. The counties that are not currently all clear are Wayne, as well as Union counties. Those are the only 2 counties that have storms. Otherwise, you are pretty much all clear from severe weather in the entire state. This southern cell here, Caleb, has just moved across, the worst of it at least, is now into Kentucky, and it'll be in Kentucky from here on out. So we are about to end our coverage here next couple of minutes once that severe warning up there by Richmond goes offline. That expires in 27 minutes, 26 minutes now. So hopefully we will either get a cancellation of that or an early trim back. But for right now, looking at the data that I have at hand, let's see if it goes up to 20,000 feet still. Let's go down one. Yeah, still a very healthy core on that, so I wouldn't imagine they're going to cancel that anytime soon. That should continue. That should continue there. Possible quarter-size hail over Centerville, moving in toward Richmond, Spring Grove, and Boston areas. So be inside. You have to take shelter for hail, but as let's rephrase that. You don't have to go to your basement for hail, but it's a good idea to stay away from windows and be indoors as the storm passes. Caleb's laughing at me. I'm getting tired, guys.
Careful on how you word that. Don't go outside for hail. Hail can injure you and can hurt you even at quarter size. But again, be inside a sturdy structure until the storm has passed.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, don't take shelter. Like, yeah, take shelter indoors, but you don't got to go to your basement and hunker down like you do for a tornado warning. That was the point I was trying to differentiate there.
There you go. See, he got it out eventually, but he is tired here. But there could also be some strong winds in the downdraft of the storm as well. It is warned for 60-mile-per-hour winds, Ryan. So it could be some strong winds there in the core coming over Centerville. So again, interior room away from windows. But again, lowest level of your home is expected. It's never good to shelter during severe weather. If you have an upstairs or anything like that, it's never a good idea to do that, as upstairs can become compromised during times of severe weather. Whether it's from tree debris, just winds. Winds always increase with height. You have frictional forces at work, so there is some slowing down of the winds at the surface and speeding up with height. So there is that. A few showers popping up here around the South Bend area, but they are not severe or strong at this point in time. Maybe some gusty winds here, maybe around 20 miles an hour there or so, along the cold front itself. But back to Louisville here. Louisville did not go offline, Ryan. Here's the gust front coming out on the other side.
It's a little weaker on the other side, too. Only getting 60 to 65.
Yeah, that's... and that could be just radar interpretation, too, Ryan. Could be really close. We're just right there over the radar, not really getting the best look at it at this point in time either. We're not getting a vertical look at it. We're just not getting a good representation at this point in time. But the warning remains considerable at 70. They did not go ahead and increase that at this point in time. I'm sure they heard the wind, though, at the WFO. I'm sure they heard the wind howling outside.
I'm sure they did.
As with anyone. But we are down to... really officially one severe thunderstorm in Indiana, Ryan. That storm, safe to say, has moved off to our neighbors to the south in Kentucky. We have one severe thunderstorm warning remaining near Richmond. And then after that, the chances of severe weather go down. We do have one stray pop-up near Marion, though, Ryan, near Falmouth.
Don't tempt fate, Caleb. Don't tempt fate.
But we're not seeing any hail updraft on that or anything right there. Pretty shallow. Convection, meaning cloud tops are not very high on that. And there's not a lot of instability up there either. So a stray shower can't be entirely ruled out, but the severe weather risk is quite low. The severe thunderstorm watch has been canceled across northern Indiana now that the severe weather has moved out of the state. Our tornado watch is also being trimmed back, Ryan. Indianapolis is no longer included in that tornado watch. Bloomington is no longer included in that tornado watch. And Evansville is no longer included in that tornado watch as well. Greensburg, Seymour, Jasper, so Du Bois County, those areas are still included in the tornado watch. In fact, I'll go ahead and turn it on my screen here. Go back to one screen here. Go ahead and toggle it on to see if it's updated on here. Tornado watch on. Yep, there you go. That is the updated tornado watch. It has been updated here. So I'll go ahead and draw it here. So counties in yellow here are still in the tornado watch, but Indianapolis, Anderson, you guys have been allowed to expire from the tornado watch. Tornado watch has been trimmed back. Boonville, you guys are no longer in the tornado watch. Still includes Louisville, CWA, still inclusive. That's why Du Bois County kind of sticks out like a sore thumb here. However, Du Bois County is in the clear from severe weather. Louisville just has not trimmed the watch yet. Honestly, they're probably really busy at the moment as well. So they'll trim that back as they can. Right now, they're focused on severe thunderstorm warnings above anything else. But a few showers, heavy downpour here near Marion and Grant County. Right now, our only severe thunderstorm warning is for Richmond, Indiana. Quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds here as this cell moves into Ohio. But this severe thunderstorm warning is solely and only for Wayne County, Indiana. Winchester, Indiana, you guys are in the clear in Randolph County. Just for your neighbors to the south in Wayne County that remain under a severe thunderstorm warning. But for those of you still watching, if you guys have any damage reports or cool photos you want to send in to us, Ryan, where's a good place where they can send that in to us at?
Our inbox. You can message us here directly on Facebook. Also, we have a couple groups. We have Indiana Weather, that is our group on Facebook. We also have Indiana Storm Reports for Facebook groups. We also have the Hoosier Storm Community. That is also a group that we operate as well. And as always, you can message any of our pages. We have Indiana Storm Chasing Network as well as Indiana Weather Online. And soon to be a third coming soon. We'll have to announce that in a few weeks perhaps, but we have a third page operational here very soon. So stay tuned for that. I think we're about ready to hop off here, Caleb. We got about probably 10 minutes of coverage left, I have to assume. And then hope to the higher power that none of these pop-up cells become isolated severe.
Yeah. Actually, Ryan, I have not looked at mesoanalysis. If you want to hop on mesoanalysis, sure. I'm curious to know what we have here remaining here.
You're talking like fuel, I assume?
Yeah, I want to see what our Cape values are and what our lapse rates are doing here.
There ain't nothing where that cell's popping up near Marion. There's nothing there.
I didn't think so. I thought I was questioning how it's there.
Now, back here, yeah, back there by South Bend, Gary area. Let's go ahead and do a point-click sound. I'll tell you here. There is 500 surface Cape. Up there, we have about 1,000 MU Cape and about 1,000 D Cape. So some of those may produce some downbursts, some gustier winds.
Yeah, more of a gusty wind, microburst risk up there.
So up by the South Bend area, maybe some small hail as well, but perhaps some gusty winds with those cells as D Cape. We call it downdraft Cape. Basically just a measure of how unstable the downdraft layer is. And if it's really unstable, we can get a lot of what we call water-loaded microbursts, which is a lot of water, a lot of rain coming down all at once. It hits the ground with force. It spreads outward. That outward force is gusty winds. So that's what a microburst downburst is. Yeah.
And those cloud tops aren't very high, Ryan. And VIL doesn't really show much of any of a hail risk in there, mainly just a heavy rain risk. And with that D Cape, these storms become heavy. They become waterlogged. You can get some heavy downbursts and maybe a quick burst of gusty wind, but that's really about it for these storms here along the immediate cold front.
Yep.
Still showing a little bit of a hail core on it, though, near Richmond. As this storm continues to move into Ohio, getting very close. Richmond is the last stop before it reaches New Paris and into Ohio. Go ahead and toggle the tornado watch back off here so it doesn't clutter my screen too much here.
It's actually a really good signature there over Richmond. I'm getting the hail. My voice is starting to give out now. My hail core.
Are you on Wilmington or IND?
IND. Hail core up to 23,000 feet, about 55 dBz. So we are borderline severe. If I go down one, though, to about 20,000 feet, 19,000 feet to be exact, it is 18,000 feet. Sorry, 65 dBz. So that hail core looks to be collapsing on itself just a bit. Also, don't want to sleep on that cell up by Marion. It does have a nice hail core up to about 16,000 feet now. Have to watch that one a little closer as well.
Not very big, but it is there.
Yep, one of those little pop-up popcorn cells that may try to be sneaky.
Says, you tell me I'm not in an environment. Well, I'll show you. And there's our extended severe thunderstorm warning. Wilmington is keeping it at quarter and 60 as this moves into the Brookville area, acronym area in Ohio. This would be for Wayne County, Indiana, eastern Wayne County. And this would be for Darke County and Preble County, as well as Montgomery and Miami in Ohio. So southern Darke County here in Ohio. Nice supercell near Greenfield, Ohio.
Yeah, Ohio has a nice risk there. And I don't know if you noticed or not, Caleb, but that dust, we're going to call it a dust front. Gust front, dust front. The blowing dust we had earlier has moved into Ohio. There's not much on radar, but that dust front continues across central Ohio there, where numerous severe warnings are in effect there for 60-mile-per-hour winds.
Yeah, I don't see any other blowing dust advisories, though, issued, at least on my other radar that I have open here. Wouldn't be surprised if there is maybe a little bit some here, but that was... I've never seen dust that thick before. It dropped to less than a quarter of a mile, and really the best way to describe that is like a snow squall warning, where you go from really good visibility to you can't see a quarter of a mile away. It's just... like someone threw sand in your face is what it looked like. And you could feel the dust in the air too. Just blowing on you. Ryan, I sent you pictures of the 3 stages of the dust from as it was coming, as it was here, and then as I was in it, both looking at the same direction. You can see the evolution of the dust, and it really did hit you really quick, and you couldn't see, which makes it extremely dangerous for motorists on the roadways. As I interacted with it at my house, as I was sheltering there a little bit earlier today, and it went from good visibility to 0 extremely fast, but it didn't last long, only a couple minutes, and then the sun came back out. It rained a little bit, and then it went on, but there's a reason they issued blowing dust warnings and advisories, just because of what visibility can do on the roadways. Anytime you mess with visibility on the roadways, whether it's from snow, rainfall, fog, no matter what it is, it always increases the hazards on the roadways, because you can't see other motorists and other motorists can't see you. And frankly, in this situation, you weren't going to see the road very well either. You couldn't see more than it was less than a quarter of a mile. It wasn't far at all. Visibility even close to a 1/10 of a mile there briefly. That was pretty crazy. You always see, being in Indiana, you always see pictures of blowing dust out in the Plain States and out west. where these bomb cyclones or Colorado lows really come out, or panhandle hookers. They come out in the plains and they deepen, and a lot of that has to do with just geographic location of the low. They come in off the mountains. They interact with the warm moist air out of the Gulf of Mexico, cold air from Canada. They have a perfect environment for bombing out and really deepening. And as they do that, they draw up a lot of air on the backside or south side of the low, and they really pick up a lot of the dust in the desert southwest, where the dust is loose all the time. It's a desert. And so you see dust storms and stuff out there, but that was the first one I have seen here before. I've never seen dust like that before. So that was a unique experience, to say the least. If any of you guys saw any dust or anything like that, put in the comments. Let me know what you thought of it. It was weird that the sky definitely had an orange glow to it. It was very weird. But also some small hail in Blackford County, coming into Hartford City, near Trenton, south of Montpelier. A little bit of a hail core there near Shamrock Lakes, just south of 18, outside of Upland. There's a good ice cream place in Upland, by the way. Oh, shout out!
Oh, don't tell my dad about that.
That's a good. It's a
A
good
new
one.
considerable severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
That is for that southern cell here. Just clipping very, very small portions of Clark County. That storm is not even in that polygon, so not a concern for us. It's already out of Clark County, so no concern there. I'm not sure why they included that, honestly. Oh, here we go. 81 miles per hour gusts at the Louisville airport. 81.
Wow.
So that was, those winds were tracking about a half hour ago at 80 to 90 miles an hour. Oh, there you go. It was confirmed at 81 miles per hour. And that is deserving of a destructive severe warning, because destructive starts at 80 or higher, and then considerable is 70 to 80. Well, Caleb, as the storm is over, exiting Richmond into New Paris, Ohio, we're going to be good to end our coverage here, I have to assume, pretty soon. We have some pop-up cells that are trying to get going, but there's not really juice out there anymore. And there's a little bit of juice, but not much out there to get these cells to become severe. So any severe chance would be quite low in nature. Latest scan, that Hartford cell kind of weakened it as well, which is great news.
Yeah, not a lot of instability there. There's really nothing there. I'm actually kind of surprised it popped up. There's some lift from the cold front, but that's really about it.
Yeah.
Up here in northern Indiana near South Bend, hail is not a threat here. It's mainly just some gusty winds and some heavy rainfall. And I don't expect these to go severe at all. And I'm actually impressed the Blackford County cell is as strong as it is. It's not super strong. It's just mainly heavy rain, maybe some pea-sized hail. But other than that, that is about it here. As soon as
it's out of the state,
this,
Caleb.
this storm is out of the state. So
roll the outro.
yeah. So with that being said, still a chance of an isolated strong storm here, just for a couple of these cells here lagging behind. But I really don't think we're going to see any more severe thunderstorm warnings here tonight in Indiana. We did have one that was just issued here that is a considerable tag here for extreme southern Indiana. However, the winds are well south of that and into Kentucky. So this warning here, though it probably made your emergency alert system go off because it did technically include the county, the severe weather hazard is to our south in Kentucky. And looking around the region here, Ryan, I really don't see any other storms of concern. This supercell here, definitely looking more supercellular, though. Has that bird wing look to it. But that would be moving into Ohio, into southern Darke County, over there in the Preble County as well. Dayton, Ohio, we'll have to watch that, guy. So if you know any friends in the north side of Dayton, let them know. Strong severe thunderstorm just off to their northwest. Let it go north of town there, near the Piqua area, I-75 corridor towards Springfield, Ohio as well. And before we hop off here, we'll go ahead and take a brief look at Ohio here. I know a lot of us have friends and family over there, so we'll go ahead and take a look at that. We do have quite a bit of thunderstorm warnings in Ohio. All of this very similar to what Indiana looked like earlier here. Although velocity and reflectivity doesn't look like much in Delaware, Mansfield, and Newark, Ohio, do have some gusty winds on the leading edge of that, and did kick up a lot of dust in Indiana. So I assume it's probably very similar there, at least with the winds anyway. And we do have a couple southern supercells in Ohio as well, but you can see that outflow boundary on the south side. So that really doesn't really promote tornadoes, but it does promote some hail in some of those storms as well. So that's really the big picture: is damaging winds and hail in Kentucky. The better environment for tornadoes still exists. Go ahead and look here. Got a QLCS, or what we call mesovortices there on this line here. Anytime you have a leading edge in a high sheared environment, you can get spin up tornadoes there with that. So that is a broad look around the region here. And across Indiana, though, our cold front is getting ready to come on through, and that's going to drop our humidity down for the weekend. And we'll be pretty pleasant here this weekend, Ryan. We're going to be in the 70s, low humidity. It's going to be very, very nice to catch a break from 70 dew points for a while. I don't think I'm going to miss that.
Absolutely. Also, a little bit of a break for severe weather the next couple of days, too. We'll look at it again next week, but as of the weekend, beautiful. Get out there, enjoy it, and that's about it. Get out there and enjoy it while you can. Caleb, are you ready to hop out of here, you think?
Yeah, I think so. With that being said here, guys, again, thanks for following along with us. Thanks for trusting it. I will say one quick thing here before we hop off. That is, if you were in any impacted communities here that were impacted by severe weather today, from tornadoes to straight line winds, we did have a few tornadoes touch down. Some of them could have been quite strong here today. We'll know their official ratings here over the next couple of days. But if you're in any of those communities impacted by significant severe weather today, heed any warnings or advisories by your emergency management. A lot of times they'll put a curfew out for your area or town, and it is unlawful to disobey those curfews. So again, if you're in any of those impacted communities, be sure to follow your local emergency management on social media, on Facebook. They all have pages. Feel free to give them a like and a follow for more information and updates, and your emergency management will communicate that to you. Make sure their roads are clear for those power companies and emergency vehicles to go through, and we can all do our part to recover in those communities as well. So with that being said, be careful if you're out and about. A lot of trees down, limbs down, debris on the road. Becomes exceptionally hard to see at night, from power lines to trees. So again, be very cautious if you're on the roads, especially in rural areas that were impacted by severe weather. We do have how many people are without power right now in Indiana, Ryan?
Give me 10 seconds and I'll find out.
I know we have some power outages still in the state, mainly for those localized areas that were impacted. Ryan, what's the number?
103,000.
Yeah, so we have quite a few people without power here. And that'll be slowly restored here over the next couple of days. It may be a little bit longer for those that are heavily impacted, depending on the damage in the to the power grid. So with that being said, be patient, be courteous, be kind, and we'll get through the recovery efforts together. With that being said, though, Ryan, I think we are good to hop off. So thank you guys for trusting us to have you covered from beginning to end. And we appreciate your loyalty. We appreciate you putting your trust in us to keep you covered from beginning to end. I know it got pretty crazy there. We had to, we didn't spend as much time on some warnings as others, depending on their severity and in the situation that was ongoing there. But we tried to cover everything the best we could. With that being said, really appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful weekend. Be safe, cleaning up any damage if you guys do have damage. Feel free to send in your damage reports too. You guys can, we have Indiana Weather Reports. You guys can submit that on and join that group. That's a public group you guys can join. It's ran by us. We do monitor that. Only serious, actual damage reports only. And that is also looked at and shared with NWS as well. So you guys can also message us directly on Facebook. Feel free to ask us questions on there as well. And we will see you guys next time.
Yes, I have a couple questions here. You guys are all clear. The risk for tornadoes is over across the state, so you can go to bed. With that said, we're gonna hop out of here. You guys enjoy your night. Stay safe.